Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony DeQuano.
So, Tony, let's continue our Oscar series. Last week, we talked about the Best Actress winner, the Best Actress in a Leading Role winner.
Right.
That was Reese Witherspoon with Walk the Line. Let's move on to one of the supporting categories and talk about the Best Supporting Actor Oscar that went to what I would consider, at least nowadays, an underrated actor and performance, really. People just don't think about this guy like they used to.
I would agree with that. I was thinking about that over the last week or so, couple of weeks, as we talked about doing this movie and then having watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would agree with that.
I mean, he's always been a fantastic actor. I've always been a fan of his. But I think just like his age has kind of kept him out of the public spotlight, cultural zeitgeist, however you want to word it.
Yes.
Especially with the current generations.
And I think what's interesting, too, looking, his filmography was not vast after this, which I kind of thought it was. But I think it's because this movie stood out along with a couple of others from the same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And so it stuck there. And then, as you were just saying, yeah, I just think his type of performance and role just is of a kind of different generation.
Yeah, I mean, when we were growing up, everybody knew who he was.
Yes.
But nowadays, you say his name, and chances are you're going to get somebody you're like, who?
And it's funny, even this movie, I think, even at one time was very well kind of thought of, it's almost kind of slipped under the radar itself a little bit.
It really has. Yeah. And just, so we don't keep people guessing too much longer, the person we're talking about is Jack Palance, who, one of my favorite roles of his was, we've already talked about him in one of our podcast episodes.
Yeah, way back. That was a couple years ago now.
1989 Batman. But this is my absolute favorite role of his, what we're talking about today. And that is his role, the role that won him Best Supporting Actor, even though he was only in, I want to say, about 20 minutes of the movie.
It's not that. I actually looked this up because I was wondering about this myself. It's a little over 12 minutes.
12 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. A little over 12 minutes of the movie still got Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars. But that movie is City Slickers.
Yeah. Which, starring Billy Crystal, who we've discussed recently with When Harry Met Sally.
Yep.
And but Jack Palance. And it's funny. It's one of those roles in a movie where it's a veteran actor that usually gets that last line. It says, and so-and-so, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they show up for a few scenes. And occasionally it might get nominated for an Oscar, right? But winning is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But he's so pervasive in this movie.
He is fantastic in this
it's
movie.
Hard to forget about him. And he's a big linchpin, obviously, in the movie.
Yeah.
But he doesn't show up until probably about a third of the way into the movie. And then he's only in, again,
he's in a few major scenes
for after.
And that's it.
And and that's the other aspect of it, right? He's got the first few scenes you see him in, he gets one line.
Mm-hmm. He's really only got 2 scenes where he has some substantial dialogue with people, with Billy Crystal.
Yeah, but obviously he is the turning point for Billy Crystal's character.
Mm-hmm.
But he creates such a unique, I won't say unique, but he creates such a memorable character. He just sticks out.
You can't think of this movie without thinking of Curly.
No, you can't. It's so much the sequel has the character's name in it.
Yes, and it's his twin brother played by Jack Palance.
Yes.
They bring him back. They bring him back to life. They bring his character back to life.
Spoiler alert.
Which, it's not actually his character, it's his character's twin brother, but still. Who's another cowboy who's just as cowboyish as his brother.
Yes.
But nicer.
Who scares the bejesus out of Billy Crystal on the subway.
Yes. But that's the second movie. Which, I don't know, we may do someday. It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. It gets a little unfairly maligned.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of sequels to unexpected hits, where it's not quite as good, but also maybe not quite as bad as some people remember it to be.
Exactly. I mean, it's a fun watch.
Got John Lovitz in it, pretending to be Fredo Corleone.
Yeah.
But but City Slickers is obviously the better of the two movies.
Yes.
And it's a funny movie.
It's a funny movie. I have always loved this movie.
Yes.
I mean, I watched it all the time growing up.
I did as
It
well.
has been years and years since I've actually like seen it all the way through. I mean, it was like probably, I want to say 6 months or so ago. It was on TV, and I was watching most of it, but didn't see the whole thing. And then City Slickers 2 was on, and I caught that too on TV. But like I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention to it, because it was on TV, and I was doing other stuff, and
things come up.
It's been a long time since I've actually sat down and watched it.
Right.
And so it was really nice to do that for this.
I enjoyed it as well. And I was trying to think, okay, when is the last time I've watched in its entirety? Because some of it I could swear that I've watched these scenes within the last 5 years, maybe the last 10. And other parts, like, oh yeah, like I don't think I've seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's been a while because I don't own it on any media, and it's not for free on any streaming services currently. And maybe at some point it was on Netflix or something. I streamed it because it was there. Now it's not, right? And that's kind of maybe why I'm remembering that's been maybe 10 years. But it was good to come back to it.
Yeah.
Have some good belly laughs of some jokes I forgot about.
Yeah.
And others that I remembered, but because it's been a while, it still felt fresh.
Plus, I mean, it's Jake Gyllenhaal's first movie.
That's right.
He plays Billy Crystal's son.
It's got Daniel Stern in between his time being a wet bandit and a sticky bandit.
Yeah, so after he tries to kill Kevin McAllister the first time, but before he tries to kill him the second time.
And before he becomes a coach for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
But, after becoming a growing up Fred Savage.
Yeah. Yes.
Or actually kind of in between there because, he
was still doing it. He was still the grown up Fred Savage at the time. But yeah.
And long before he decided to solicit prostitution.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I guess they let him off on that.
That was an interesting headline recently. But
no, he got off on that. So I guess he was accused of it, and he has been.
I'm sure he did get off on that. Sorry, had to be said.
He's been cleared. So, but money talks also.
Yeah. But hey, we're not here to talk about that stuff. About the legal troubles of the people in our movies.
The first time I would have seen this movie, I don't think it was theaters. I think it's because my family rented it.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a PG-13 movie, and I would have been definitely I was probably 7.
Yeah.
It's not the most appropriate movie for a 7-year-old.
Same with me. I don't think I saw this one in theaters. I think the first time that I saw it was at home. My parents had rented it, and it's one of those things. Like I have a very fond memory of watching this as a kid, because it was one of those movies. Occasionally we'd have like a family movie night, right? Where my dad, my parents had an air popper for popcorn.
Okay.
Right. And so my dad would get a big paper grocery bag, and he'd pop a bunch of popcorn, and then, melt a bunch of butter and put it in there, shake it up. So the bottom of the bag was
the bottom and the middle all good.
Starting to, so the butter was soaking through the bag. It was perfect. And, they'd bring it in there, and we'd all get bowls and scoop out popcorn and, eat it while we watched the movies. And this was one of those times.
Okay.
So I have some very fond memories of watching this as a kid. I saw it, I think, it was shortly after it came in on video. It was, this was a year this came out.
It was 1991.
91. So yeah, I was in first grade. First or maybe second grade, but it was, I saw it for the first time in first grade, but I saw it several times as a kid. But yeah, no, I just have very fond memories. This, and also a movie we covered over the summer, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That was another one of those ones where my dad made about a bunch of popcorn and we'd watch it.
Yeah, the movies in similar time frame, and it's another one that I definitely watched a lot, and that's definitely more, I guess, family oriented than this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember it, and there's parts of it that I found really hilarious, and other parts that I remember my parents laughing at, and I couldn't quite understand it yet. And eventually, I did, obviously. And then I remember we actually went as a family to see City Slickers too, because we all enjoyed this one well enough, right?
See, I didn't see City Slickers 2 until years after it had come out, when it was on TV.
Gotcha.
I watched it. I think I watched it when we went to. Where was it? I watched City Slickers 2. It was when we were in. I think we went to Georgia, because it was either Florida or Georgia, but I think Florida, that trip was before it came out, because Florida was 91, summer of 91. So it would have been the Georgia trip years later, when we were at the hotel and turned on the TV and it was there. It was on. But yeah, we're not talking about the second one right now.
No, we're not.
We might in the future, but we're not now.
Right. So back to Jack Palance, right? And probably would have been the first movie I really saw him in. Well, Batman was, but I don't know if I would have made that connection at that point.
I definitely saw this before I saw Batman, so this was the first one I saw him in.
And for older audiences, they would have known him well, especially in the 50s and 60s when he did a bunch of Westerns. So he would have been well known to a lot of people, a lot of audiences. And I'm looking though, this is a really impressive list of actors that were nominated that year. So obviously he won. Michael Lerner was nominated for Barton Fink, but then you have Ben Kingsley and Harvey Keitel, both from Bugsy, and Tommy Lee Jones and JFK.
And Jack Palance beat them all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
those are some heavy hitters.
That's a strong list.
Those are some heavy hitters.
But hey, and he famously did the one arm pushups.
I was just going to say that he proved his worth after beating them by doing one arm pushups on the stage.
And it's kind of an interesting time frame because it's not the type of role you'd always think of necessarily winning the Oscar either, right? Because it is a very comedic movie.
Yep.
Right. And he's very good at it, but you would have thought that it'd be something that's a little bit more of a quote unquote prestige movie. But at the same time, the following year, Marissa Tomei won for My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
A few years ago earlier, Kevin Kline won for A Fish Called Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All movies that are
also,
comedies.
Yes, there's that. The movies were comedies and all that, but he was probably the one person in this movie that played the whole thing completely straight.
Oh, he did. Yes.
You have Billy Crystal, who's being Billy Crystal in all his amazingness and hilarity, right? I mean, it can't be understated how funny Billy Crystal is.
Yeah.
Or overstated, or however you want to put it.
Yes,
he's a funny guy,
going.
but yeah, he's hilarious. But anyway, then you got Daniel Stern, who is also a funny guy.
Yes, he is.
You've got
David Paymer.
You've got Josh Mostel. All these people. Jeffrey Tambor is in this movie.
Jeffrey Tambor is in this movie. That's right.
You got all the Phil Lewis,
Tracy Walter,
Phil Lewis,
right,
Hooch from Scrubs.
Yes.
You got Phil Lewis, who, yes, he's also in a bunch of, like Disney Channel shows and stuff like that. But Hooch. Hooch is crazy.
You got Noble Willingham.
Yes. Yes. You have all these people who are known as, comedic actors, funny people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you throw Jack Palance in the mix.
Jack Palance. And he just plays it as
we didn't even mention Bruno Kirby.
No, that's right. He plays a very similar role in this as he plays in
very
Harry Met
similar
Sally.
Role. Yeah.
But yeah, then you get Jack Palance, and he's just he's Jack Palance, and he's just this old school rough cowboy. Right?
And it's just he's the perfect foil to Billy Crystal in this movie.
But it's good because the movie, again, is another movie we talk about that's a big comedy that also injects a lot of heart.
Yes.
And a lot of thoughtfulness.
A lot of that comes from Jack Palance, from Curly.
Yes. And then, we'll get to them. There's a few, one or two moments where he then allows himself to relax and let himself down and you see who he is.
Yeah.
Also, beyond just always having to be serious all the time.
Yeah.
You realize that's in there.
Yeah.
Also.
I mean, that night that Curly and Mitch spend together out in the wilderness is, that's a perfect scene, really.
Yes, I agree. well played by both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Crystal is really good in this movie also.
Yeah.
Right? He was nominated for a Golden Globe for this, right? Because like we talked about last week, it's weird calling Walk the Line comedy/musical. It's not technically a musical just because it's about a musician, and it's definitely not a comedy.
Yeah,
this is definitely a comedy.
Yeah.
And Billy Crystal was nominated for Best Lead Actor in a Musical or Comedy.
Yeah, and this is definitely a comedy. And he also does a little bit of singing in it, so it's also a musical.
Yeah, he's got a harmonica.
I mean, he does. And Jack Palance sings.
He does. Good voice.
Yes.
Good cowboy voice.
Yes.
And then the music's actually quite good in this too.
It is. It really is. It's very cowboyish. It's very Western.
Very cowboy. Very Western.
But but with a little bit of a city twist to it.
Yes.
It's it captures the themes of the movie very well.
It does. Mm-hmm. It's just and it plays into kind of this reflection of how a city person might also kind of look at what a Western should be also. And it's very thoughtful.
In fact, for the day or a day or two after I watched this movie for the podcast, the soundtrack was just stuck in my head and I found myself whistling to the whistling or humming to the soundtrack.
Mark Shaman did the music for this. He's received 7 Academy Award nominations, some Grammy noms, Emmy noms. He did the score for When Harry Met Sally. He also did the score for Misery. He did the score for Sister Act, for Hocus Pocus, The American President. He did the score for South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
There we go. So he is the one that's responsible for Blame Canada?
Well, he did scored the music.
He did the score.
He did all the.
Okay, so
he wrote Blame Canada.
Yes, but he still was in charge of arranging the music in there, wasn't he?
Yes.
Not just the score, but actually inserting Blame Canada into the movie.
That would be correct. Yes. No, he actually was. He did this music and the lyrics. He was nominated for an Oscar for that, and he should have won.
For Blame Canada? It was him?
Yes.
Dude, he should have won. I remember that Oscars watching Robin Williams get on stage and sing "Blame Canada." It was glorious. It was awesome.
Oh my. That's good.
But yeah, no. So this Oscars that Jack Palance won, right? He won Best Supporting Actor. Wasn't this one of like the first times that Billy Crystal hosted, or was it right before he started hosting?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I know he started hosting right around this time, and like he was the go-to Oscar host throughout the 90s, or at least throughout the early to mid 90s.
It would have been let's see. His first time he hosted was 1990.
So, yeah, he would have been hosting this one, most likely.
So, let's see. Yeah, when you look into it. I know he did, because I remember he did the Oscars the year before also, when, because he famously came out on stage in the Lecter mask.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
No, that would have been this Oscars. Yes, because that was the same year, 1991.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. You're right.
So, yeah, he did these Oscars.
He did these Oscars, yeah. So, and then he did several after this.
Yes. I remember he did the Titanic Oscars.
And I remember that too.
His little song. Yep. It's like, I sure the propeller guy.
Yep. I mean, maybe we need to talk about Titanic on this podcast just to talk about Propeller Guy. Just do an entire episode on Propeller Guy. If only Too Excited Trampoline Guy was waiting under, like, just in a boat in the water to catch him.
You never know when Too Excited Trampoline Guy is going to show up on our episodes. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yep. But
so before we jump into it, I think the one other thing I want to say when I was looking at the Wikipedia page is I really like the poster for this too.
Yes. I agree.
Like, it's the old style kind of classic Western look to it, but again, it's kind of updated a bit too.
Yep.
So,
I mean, there's a few different posters for it, but
yes.
Yeah.
But one of the designers, the one I'm kind of referring to, is by John Alvin. He did a bunch of movie posters. He was famous for his movie posters. But yeah, there's so many good just elements to this movie. There's tiny things that just make it just all work really, really well.
Yeah.
And because, again, like, it's I don't think that any of the comedies is really that dated, right? There's not a lot of, like, current references to different things. And again, like, it ends up being the story about these three friends, childhood friends, just, again, kind of refinding themselves. And,
Yeah. And
it's kind of an interesting way to kind of look at it.
Yeah, refinding themselves
at this age too,
reevaluating their relationship with each other.
Exactly.
Finding their bond again.
Yes.
And
it's funny looking at this movie now, being like around their age.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That definitely was crossing my mind when I was watching it the other day.
It's like, oh, interesting.
But yeah, it was a completely different experience watching it now as an adult, as it was when I was in first and second grade watching it.
Yes.
But so back to that, though, how I had said that I have fond memories of watching this with homemade popcorn and all that with the family, right?
Right.
So when I was watching it for the podcast the other day, so like you said, it's not streaming on any of the services right now, and it's so you gotta rent it or own it in order to really buy it, in order to watch it,
to watch it
legally. Right. And my parents just happened to have the DVD.
There you go.
So I watched it with my parents. I watched their DVD of it. And before we started the movie, my mom asked my dad, "Hey, you want to go make some popcorn?" And so my dad went and he made some homemade popcorn.
Nice.
Brought it out, and we ate some homemade popcorn while watching the movie, and it was a very nice little callback to my childhood watching
That sounds nice. I like that.
It was very nice.
I like that a lot.
And I don't think either of them were thinking about,
no,
how we
it's like it's a movie.
Let's have it years ago. Yeah, it's like we're watching a movie. Let's have some popcorn. But yeah, no, it was a very nice little. It brought back some very, very nice memories.
That's good. I like when movies can do that. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, ready to get into it?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, spoiler alert, we are going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come back and listen. If you have seen it or you just don't mind being spoiled, keep on listening. But you have been warned. We are going to be spoiling this amazing Billy Crystal and Jack Palance movie. Even though Jack Palance really doesn't have anything more than a glorified cameo, yet he was so good that he won an Oscar for his performance in this movie. Which, I mean, that just goes to show the caliber of his acting.
Yes. 12 minutes and 24 seconds, by the way.
Yeah. So, glorified cameo, basically. But still walked away with the Best Supporting Actor Oscar.
It's the fourth shortest role for any supporting actor.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we did talk about Silence of the Lambs with Anthony
he won
Hopkins.
for best lead.
That's right. That was lead.
But his screen time was not much more than this.
Yeah. Because, I guess they were the same year, so they wouldn't have both been able to win supporting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. But, well, yeah, so.
Yeah, and it's only like barely just under 11% in the movie.
Huh.
So, yep.
I mean, you would think Daniel Stern or Bruno Kirby would be considered the supporting actors of this movie.
Yes, but they weren't nominated.
But no.
So.
No, Jack Palance. Because he was so damn good.
So good.
Like this would not be the same movie without Jack Palance.
It would not be. No, not at all.
But anyway, so we start out. I love the credit sequence.
I love the credit. This harkens back to like early late 90s, late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Just animated.
You got a cartoon cowboy while the credits are rolling at the beginning of the movie. That's just he's got a lasso and he's swinging around. He's just messing up all over. He's trying to do tricks and just messing them all up. And just it's great. It's
I kind of forgot about 90s. That this was there.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Music's playful, and it helps set the tone. And again, like this is a bumbling cowboy animated character too, right? So it fits kind of what will be coming later in the movie.
Yeah.
So, oh, by the way, this is also an MGM movie since we talked about that
Yes, it
recently.
is. Yes, it is. It's an MGM
And we had the
movie.
Castle Rock lighthouse again
Mm-hmm.
going around.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people that were on this that were associated with Rob Reiner in many capacities. But so after we get the opening credit with the animated cowboy, we just get this Spanish music coming up. And we're in Pamplona for the running of the bulls.
Yep.
And we have three friends there that are three American friends that are there, right? We have Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern, and Bruno Kirby, right? And they're getting ready
And
as
Bruno
the
Kirby
bulls
is dressed like a Spaniard.
yes,
He's
fully going.
he is
all
in
this.
it. He is all in. He is dressed like your stereotypical cinematic Spaniard.
Yes, Daniel Stern is just kind of there for the ride because like they get these ideas for their friend Billy Crystal for his birthday. They're always trying to find to do these kind of outrageous things for Billy Crystal's birthday. Right? And so Bruno Kirby plays Ed. He sells sporting goods. Right? Daniel Stern plays Phil. He manages a supermarket for his wife and father-in-law. And Billy Crystal playing Mitch Robbins, who is a radio station sales executive, right? And we don't know all their careers yet, but that's who the three of them are. Mitch, Phil, and Ed.
Yeah.
And they let the bulls out, right? And so they're all running. And oh, Ed, he's laughing this entire time. Phil is just scared and just screaming. And and then you have Mitch just being Billy Crystal about the entire thing.
Yeah. I mean, Ed is loving it. Ed is loving every second of this.
And you could almost say Phil's almost kind of acting like his Home Alone self.
Yeah, you could say that.
Anyway, and so of course you have all these other people.
Instead of paint cans swinging down on a rope, it's a bull that's chasing him.
Yes, and you got guys getting pushed aside by these bulls, right? You get some that are getting gored. All these things are happening, right? Other guys are jumping through windows in these shops.
Mm-hmm. Right? And the three of them are just running.
They're running. They're running. And eventually Phil finds a flagpole. He jumps
and grabs a flagpole and lifts himself up, and the bulls run under him.
Just as a bull runs right under him. Right.
And then eventually jumps off to the side, jumps into the crowd.
And he gets in the crowd and he starts cheering with the crowd.
Yeah, and he tells Mitch, he's like, "You go, keep going.
You got it, Mitch.
You got it, Mitch."
And while he's saying this, there is one bull has his eye.
There was one bull has his eye on Mitch. And no matter where Mitch goes, this bull is right behind him. And then that bull rears its head up and has a tea party with Mitch. He gores Mitch right in the butt.
And we just get, this next shot of him just screaming, and he's in this doctor's office with Ed and Phil. Right? And it's this little doctor's office in Spain.
This little Spanish doctor.
And he's kind of on his belly and he's got his butt up in the air, but it's draped. So we're just seeing the front half of him. And Ed and Phil, there's still another side of them, and they tell him, it's gonna be okay. He's like, does he even speak English? The guy looks up, he's got a little hat, little light on,
little thing,
as he's stitching him up or whatever. And I love how Mitch turns around, like, don't sew anything shut that's supposed to stay open.
Yes. And then the doctor kind of just looks at him.
And and I love it because Mitch is, he's angry because he's just been gored in
the butt by a bull.
His friends are kind of having a fun time with it.
I mean, now granted, if you were in Spain at the running of the bulls and your friend got gored, say we're there with Tim. Tim gets gored. Yes. We're going to be the same way.
Yes, we would be. Exactly. I don't blame them one bit. There's nothing wrong with how they're reacting here.
They're being bros. They're being friends.
Being bros, exactly.
Your bro gets gored in the butt. You gotta have fun with it.
What I love is that Phil has a camera.
Yes, he's taking pictures. He's documenting. Mitch is like, "What are you doing? Why are you taking pictures?" Like, we gotta document it.
And it's just like, oh, but he's doing a beautiful job.
Yes, he's doing a beautiful job.
He's like, just let him. And then it's okay, Phil. Let him keep his dignity. You don't need.
Yeah, you don't need to let him keep what dignity he has left.
And he's just saying like, and finally it's like, Phil's, Mitch is kind of upset, and it's like, I didn't make you run.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it was that 2,000-pound animal made me.
2,000-pound animal made me run.
But you made me stand in front of
it. These three have such great chemistry in this movie.
They do.
Like, you believe that they have been friends for years, decades, since they were kids. You believe that they have been lifelong friends.
And so Ed and Mitch are kind of still going at this, and Phil gets a great idea. He's like, we should get a group shot. So he sets a little timer. He puts it on this little stand or desk or table. It's in the doctor's office. And they get there, and they smile.
They smile, and the doctor pops out.
Like, oh, he does speak English. He is listening to all this.
The doctor pops out, and he smiles.
He smiles. By the way, we should look at plays the doctor. We did not reference him earlier, did we?
We did not. The doctor is Fred Mayo.
Fred Mayo.
See, what has Fred Mayo been in?
Adios, amigo.
He's known for City Slickers, Who's Watching the Kids, and Happy Days.
Oh, he was a program consultant on several episodes of Happy Days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe that's how he got hooked into this.
Maybe.
Oh, he was a writer on some other episodes too. So maybe he knew Henry Winkler. He decided to hook him up with,
Maybe.
Anyway.
But he's only acted in a handful of things. Like 6 things according to IMDb that he acted in. But
all right. So we cut now, and they are at the airport. On the airport, they're on the airplane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch has this giant bandage just stuck to his butt.
That's just like, yeah, his butt's huge. He's got like a Kim Kardashian butt.
And what we didn't realize is that all three of them have been there with their wives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or girlfriends,
yeah.
Right? So Barbara is Mitch's wife, played by Patricia Wettig,
mm-hmm.
right? And and she's kind of giving I told you so look, like this was going to happen. Like, you guys get these silly ideas.
But at the same time, you could still, she gives him that "I told you so" look. But at the same time, she gives that look that she's fully aware that she married Billy Crystal. And she has long ago accepted everything that comes with that.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. This is true. And then we have Phil, his wife
Arlene
is Arlene,
played by Carla Tamborelli.
And she is one of these people that's just kind of really stuck up and just overbearing.
In the immortal words of the little boy in The Wedding Singer, she's a bitch.
so much so that Phil decides to pretend that he is napping before this plane is even taxied.
Yeah.
People are still putting their luggage in the overhead compartments. He's like, I'm going to take a nap.
And he's like, oh, I got my pillow. I'm napping.
Says he's napping while you have Ed there and his new girlfriend, right? Just kind of talking with Mitch and his wife about all of this. Right? And we find out that his girlfriend is definitely younger than he is, right?
Quite a bit
the
younger.
three of them, they're all right around 40.
So, yeah.
Right?
And
she's more like 23, 24 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're in their late 30s. She's in like her early to mid 20s.
Yeah. Not far out of college. We find out later that she is an underwear model. Right? So, and, and Ed still thinks this was a great idea. Like, this was...
Yeah. He's still loving it.
Meanwhile, Mitch is thinking, I've got to fly back to the States with an extra hole in my butt.
Yep. And Phil is just trying to make it back to the States alive. Because his wife is overbearing.
He wants to make sure that he actually does sleep the entire flight, because otherwise he might open the emergency exit halfway through the flight.
Yeah.
So anyway, we cut now and we're in New York. They live in Manhattan, Roosevelt Island, actually.
Of course they do. It's a Billy Crystal movie. Of course they live in New York.
Yeah, he's a married man with kids, but of course he's still living in New York.
I think the only Billy Crystal movie, the only performance from Billy Crystal in a movie where he doesn't live in New York is
Monsters, Inc.
Well, I guess there's two.
And that's essentially
three,
like the
technically,
because
there's
yes. That's like the Monsters version of New York.
Because there's Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, but the one I was thinking of, like the only live action one, is Princess Bride.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
Because there is no New York in Princess Bride.
Good call. Good call. Yes. So, but he's already kind of awake and he's waiting. We see the clock turn over, right? He doesn't have a digital clock. He's got, one just like the Groundhog Day where the numbers flip over. And when it does.
Why don't those clocks exist anymore?
I love those clocks.
I was always fascinated by those clocks. There's just little like flippers that you just flip down with the numbers on them. And
there was a time where I kind of had like the home screen for my phone to be kind of like one of those clocks. So then whenever the time changed, it would just flip like that.
Yeah, but it's not the same when it's a digital version of it. You need like the actual tangible flippers.
I'm with you.
But yeah. Anyway,
so. This we're also told this is 1 year later.
Yes, this is 1 year later.
So
Mitch's butt is fully healed.
As far as we know, he did not need additional medical treatment for it.
No, he did not need a butt transplant. A cheekectomy.
Oh boy. So, but the phone rings, right? And it's his mom on the phone. And he knows exactly how she greets him every year.
And this is like early in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 5'10" or something
it's
like that.
five.
Right?
I think like 5'17". I think is what she says.
I might have listed it earlier. It's not that's that
because it's important that she's calling it this time, because
yes,
this is Mitch's 39th birthday, and she's calling it the exact time that he was born.
5/16.
5/16. Okay.
Yes. Oh, so then this is what it says: September 8th, 1952, and she goes through this whole story about how he was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then she say, and at 5/16, out you came.
And meanwhile, he's sitting there, he's just mouthing the words.
Yep.
And everything that she's saying.
No, his wife's woken up, and she's kind of chuckling at how he does it.
Chuckling at how he does it, and he's just...
And but so his mom is played by Jane Meadows. And yeah, and you know, again, like you can tell, like this is every year, this is what happens. She's just, you know, she's got, obviously you should remember all the details about what happened.
Yeah, and I mean it's the exact same wording every year.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, they went to their Aunt Marcia's. Well, his Aunt Marcia's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then father were going down the Sawmill Parkway, and then my water broke. And then 5/16.
And Mitch is getting into it while he's mouthing these words.
He's theatrical. Yes. And so she gets through all of it, and you know, and then you know, she talks to the two of them, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna put on your father." Right? It's kind of stereotypical, like, you know, just two lines between father and son.
Yep.
Right. Alan Sheriff plays his dad. Right. And so, you know, they finish up their little conversation, and then you know, he gets out of bed, and she's already worried about Mitch. Like, she knows how he is, but she's married to Billy Crystal, and that even though he's not even 40 yet, he's going to be really morose about turning another year older.
Yeah.
Right? And he's already talking about how, like, I'm getting gray hairs where I shouldn't be getting gray hairs. Right. And he's looking at himself in the mirror in their bedroom, and right. And yeah, it's obviously, yeah, just like we described it, he is not necessarily happy about his birthday being today.
He's like this is so it's not as big of a deal nowadays, but back in the 90s, when you were turning 40, it was huge.
Huge, yes.
Like 40 was known as being over the hill.
Yes.
You know, you're cresting that hill, and it's all downhill from here. You're on your way to death, basically, once you hit 40.
You might as well just start digging a grave.
Yeah. And this was his 39th birthday.
He's Billy Crystal. Like, you look back, like, oh yeah, he looks like he's pretty young there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he doesn't look at that one.
No,
he isn't. You know, there's some people that were 40 in like 1990 that look old.
Yeah. Like I'm watching this movie the other day, and he's freaking out about being 39. Dude, I'm older than you. I'm older than you now. It's not 40's not a big deal.
I guess technically he was like 43 when this movie came out, but he still looks looks respectable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. So it's his birthday, but he is going to be going to work on his birthday still. Right? And he is stuck on the Roosevelt Island tram, right? You know, Roosevelt Island is the island that's between Manhattan and Queens. It's technically part of Manhattan. You know, if you've seen Spider-Man,
yes,
yes, you know, you remember the tram being in Spider-Man.
It's basically a big gondola that goes up on a cable. It's like a cable car kind of gondola thing that,
Because it's really if you're on Roosevelt Island, in case you don't know about Manhattan, like you're either gotta take the subway or maybe they have some boats, but none of the bridges actually directly connect to the island. So you can also take this tram, which is, like you said, like a gondola that goes over, and right. And then we get pictures of him, like then he's, stuck in the elevator and going to his office also. And now we're gonna have some scenes with him at work.
Mm-hmm. Where his boss is Jeffrey Tambor. Lou. And he's talking to him about this commercial that he doesn't like. And how Mitch sold airtime on their radio station for this commercial. And how Mitch has been dipping lately in like his quality of his work. He used to be like their top guy. He used to be their top ad salesman, ad marketer guy that would, he would get the best ads for their radio station. And he's been sort of slacking lately. And he's trying to figure out why. So he's trying to figure out why that he is slacking in his duties selling ad space.
Yeah, right.
And what was the commercial for?
It was for a pizza place.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It was a pizza place.
Like pizza time.
Yeah.
It was lame jingle.
It was just this lame jingle.
An annoying.
Like,
not somebody lame, but just annoying.
Yeah. And Lou, Jeffrey Tambor, is like, why would we ever put this trash on our radio station?
Like, you used to make a fun of stuff like this, or anyone that would put this on. Like, if this came to you, you would find a way to actually get them to make a better ad.
Yeah, but no, you've been slacking lately, and you just don't seem to care.
Jeffrey Tambor is always like Jeffrey Tambor. Also, by the way.
Yeah. Whether it's this or Hangover or whatever he's in.
So, I love how he throws the tape in the trash, and then he tells him like, anything that comes past your desk has to be approved by me for the time being. And now this is the insult. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, Mitch used to be the best.
Yes,
he was the best,
and
now he's letting pizza time jingles, air.
Like, they're gonna turn the radio off, right? Like,
because I mean, radio stations, the way they make their money is by advertisements.
Yes,
and if an ad makes somebody turn the station off, then you don't have those listeners.
You don't have those listeners. That's right. I don't want that station. They advertise for that crappy pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna change the station and find some other, song I want to listen to.
It's kind of funny how, like, not related at all in any way at all, how podcasts are very similar to radio stations in the fact that, money is made through advertisement. But anyway, anyway,
that's a whole other discussion.
That's
very similar.
Yep.
And so we cut. So what we also know is that he's supposed to, that day, his birthday, he's supposed to also be going to take your dad to work day, or take your dad to school day.
Yeah.
Or career day.
Career day. Yeah.
And so he is there, and it's not his turn, but he's sitting against the chalkboard waiting while this other guy's talking. And all he sees is this dude's butt crack.
Yeah. So this dude's butt crack. And it's like, you got your Palmer's crack, and then you got this guy's crack.
This fissure wasn't here before.
This fissure was not here before. So you got butt fissure. And you got butt fissure from, let's see, who was this? From Robert Costanzo.
I just found it, yes.
Sal Morelli.
Who, by the way, is Dennis Franz's brother in Die Hard too.
Yes, he is. which we will be covering Die Hard 2 one of these days. So
his fissure does not make an appearance in that movie.
No, it does not. But it does make an appearance in this one, and it is a fissure.
And so he is a construction worker, and he is just, instead of really talking about what it's like to be a construction worker in one of the biggest cities in the world.
He's talking about this crane accident that happened where there was this lady that was walking down the street, and he saw this crane that was about to fall, and he yelled to her. He's like, "Hey, lady, get out of the way." And she didn't listen, and the crane fell on her and crushed her legs. And he's getting graphic about it.
Cursing this entire time. This is like a 4th grade class.
He's getting graphic
standing in the
about
back
this crane falling her legs, and how she looks up at him and she's like, "I can't feel my legs," and he's like, "Well, that doesn't surprise me. There's a crane on him."
He's like, you know how sometimes in times of crises people get this superhuman strength and then he just lift things. Well, I lift this 3,000 pound
crane off of this woman's legs so that my buddies can pull her out of there.
And so the moral of the story is, don't walk under a crane because you might get your legs.
And there might not be somebody with superhuman strength to get you out of it.
Teacher politely thanks him for his time. And now it's Mitch's turn. Right? And so his son there, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, as we said. And what's his son's name?
His name is Danny. Danny Robbins.
Tries to tell the class that his dad is a submarine commander.
Yes.
Which, if you look at
Billy Crystal, he doesn't really look like a submarine commander. He doesn't look like Gene Hackman.
Or Denzel.
Float the buoy.
Or Denzel.
He doesn't look like he doesn't look like he can convincingly say float the buoy.
No. he just looks at Dave. He's like, Danny? It's like, oh, yeah, he works with WKR or whatever they call letters over the station. And one of the girls is like, oh, like, are you a DJ? It's like, oh, no.
She says, are you a disc jockey?
Oh, that's right.
She doesn't abbreviate it.
Nope. By the way, I think this girl here, this is one of the other girls in the class, is Danielle Harris. Because Danielle Harris is one of the girls in this movie.
Danielle Harris.
Danielle Harris. Yes. Okay.
Not Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris. They're two different people. But yes,
right.
this is Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris from, such gems as, she was in an episode or two of Boy Meets World.
Yes. So, he says, no, I, the commercials that you hear on the radio, and the teacher is like, oh, do you make the commercials? It's like, oh, no.
Don't tell Mom my babysitter's dead.
What else was she in?
She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, there we go.
That movie.
So, it's like, oh no, I just sell the time. I just actually sell the ad space. So, for the commercials. It's like, oh, so you decide what commercials are going to air, and when they're going to air or what time.
Yeah,
like she's actually trying to help him to make it sound more exciting, but he's just
also
he's quick, depressed.
She's also in a movie that we are planning on doing that we've mentioned several times talking about on this podcast. The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, that's right. She is. That one will come up.
Mm-hmm.
So
she did that not too long after this movie.
So
just later the same year. But anyway, continue.
So his son being, Danny being disappointed with his dad's job is just kind of put him even to a bigger funk. Because he's also, uh, this is also upset that like he's actually kind of been slightly castrated at work also that day by his boss, who he seemingly actually has a really good relationship.
Yeah.
But his boss still needs, right? And he says like, oh yeah, well, that's what I used to do, but even today at work now I have to get my boss's approval on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Plus, I mean, he's a year away from turning 40.
Yes. And then he says this. And so now he starts talking like Billy Crystal to a bunch of fourth graders.
Yeah.
It's like, don't grow up, kids. Right? You get to your 20s, those will be a blur. And then you'll be in your 30s and be like, what happened to my 20s? It's like you get to your 30s, you'll be married, have some, have kids, make some money. But then it'll be 40 and be like, what happened to my 20s?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll be 50 and you'll have you'll have what's called what you call a procedure, but it's a surgery.
You'll have a major surgery, or you'll have a minor surgery that you call a procedure. Then in your 60s, you'll have a major surgery.
In my 70s, you'll retire to Florida and just walk around the mall and ask, why don't the kids call? By the time you're in the 80s, you're just going to be dinner at 2:00 and then you'll die. Like, any questions?
And everybody's speechless. They're all just, even the teacher, just mouth open, just. He delivers it in that dry, sardonic way that Billy Crystal can deliver this. Yes. It's really, really funny. Think about when Harry met Sally, the conversation in the car on the way to New York.
Exactly.
This is how he delivers that little speech, that monologue.
So we're back at their apartment in, and he's talking with Barbara. He's like, oh yeah, Danny's, embarrassed about my job. And it's like, well, are you saying that you're not happy with your job? Because he starts talking about, it's like, yeah, like I sell air. Like some people have these jobs, like they can say they have something that, they can tangible. Right. But no, I just have air. That's all I do. Mm-hmm. I just sell air.
I sell air.
Right. It's like, are you saying you want a new job?
Like, no, I don't want a new job. Just, I want to enjoy my job more.
And what we don't realize is that they are prepping for his birthday party. They're having about a dozen friends over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. To celebrate his birthday.
They live in an apartment. They live in a Manhattan apartment.
Yeah.
And they're going to have some friends over for his birthday.
Right. Now their daughter comes by, right? And we haven't seen her yet. She is the oldest of the children. This is Holly, played by Lindsay Crystal,
who really looks like she could be Jake Gyllenhaal's sister.
Oh yes, definitely.
The only better choice they could have made to like have them look closer like siblings is if they had cast Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yes. You don't mean Katie Holmes, do you?
No, but we'll get into that when we do those movies.
So she's supposed to be going over to a friend's house or a friend's apartment that lives in the same building, right? And he doesn't realize this, right? Because she comes by, she gives him a hug, and says happy birthday, and then she's leaving. And he's surprised because he wants his kids there for the birthday, right? And his wife, his mom's just like, no, I told her she can go. Like, come on, it's gonna just be all adults here.
All adults, they're gonna be
good friends. We'll celebrate your birthday as a family tomorrow, right? So she leaves. Then we kind of cut to the party. Danny's making the rounds. He's being a 10-year-old boy in front of all these adults.
Yeah. He's putting on a show for the adults. It's
they're talking to Ed and his girlfriend that's the underwear model, right? It's like, we saw your picture in the newspaper.
Well, now they're married.
Now they're married, that's right.
Now they're married.
Yeah.
They've been married for 6 months.
When Harry met Sally, we're like, we didn't realize they get married so quickly.
Yeah.
It's like,
they've been married for 6 months.
And then, yeah, he's like, yeah, we saw your picture in the newspaper. And then, like, someone makes like, yeah, didn't she look great in that? It's like, oh no, the mom says that, right? And it's like, Mom.
Yeah, that was so his wife is Kim.
Kim, that's right, Kim.
Played by Walker Brandt.
And then, so Danny's like, Mom, he said, let's see how good she looks after 2 children.
Yeah, Mom said, let's see how good she looks after 2 kids. Typical kid with no filter.
Oh, kids.
Kids say the darndest things.
They do say the darndest things, right? So, and Phil's still there. Phil's still wanting to seem like he's out of it, right? Right? And so then finally, you get the 3 of them together on the couch, right? And they're talking. And of course, Phil's wife has to come by, right? She's like, Phil, I'm ready to leave. And he's like, oh, wait, no, we've barely been here. She's like, no, you have to be up at 4:30 to open Daddy's store. It's like,
so this is when we find out that Phil manages a grocery store that is owned by his wife's father, Arlene's dad. And we find out where Arlene gets her attitude from.
That's right.
Apparently her father is just as controlling as she is. And because Phil is married to his daughter, he is the manager of his father-in-law's store. Yep.
And, he's not going to rock the boat on this. He does not want to rock that boat.
Nope. He doesn't want to get a divorce.
No. So he politely asks, can I have 15 more? Like, can I have 15 minutes? It's like a kid that's outside. Like, can I play outside 15 more minutes, Mom?
Yeah.
And she reluctantly agrees to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so now they have this small window of time. And so they want to decide, all right, Mitch, here's our birthday gift this year. Right? And we bring out this brochure, and it's for this cattle drive from New Mexico into Colorado, where it's 2 weeks where they get they get some quick training how to be kind of a cowboy, and then they help deliver a herd of cattle from a ranch in New Mexico to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it's a cattle drive.
Yep.
It's 2 weeks out in the desert in the.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah, you camp out under the stars with it. You make your own, right? It's like, yeah, you just rough the entire thing out.
You're cowboys.
And you can tell Mitch kind of likes the idea of it, but then he's like, no, like, I don't think, like, we're supposed to go to the in-laws right down in Florida. Like, it's just not going to work, right? And Phil and Ed, they're kind of like upset to hear this. I was like, yeah, no, but no, Barbara, no, I gotta go with Barbara and the kids.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't have the heart to tell Ed that he's crazy for wanting to do all of these death-defying
That's right.
trips. Because it was Ed's idea to go to Spain and do the running of the bulls.
Yes. He had an idea to go scuba diving once too, right?
And he had an idea to he had an idea to go skydiving, and yeah, and so yeah.
Right.
Mitch just tries to he's trying to get out of it.
And one of the reasons he's also talking about the job, I forgot about this, is like, oh yeah, but she wants, talk about putting their daughter into like an acting school, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we got these bills, we have, all of that. A typical thing that a parent of that age would get concerned about.
It's like he gets a decent paycheck from his job at the radio station.
It's one thing though when you start to get that decent paycheck.
He wants to keep the job so that he can provide for his family. He hates the job. He hates what it's doing to him, but he needs it so that he can provide for his family.
Because he loves his family.
Mm-hmm. As he should.
right? His wife gets concerned that he might want to, go find some other woman in a way, right? Because like it just maybe that's some type of escape, right? But that's kind of the thought that's kind of going on
No, no.
here,
He reassures her that she's the only woman for him. He could never want another woman.
right? So meanwhile, then you contrast it with Phil, who's just married, definitely very unhappily married,
Mm-hmm.
but he also just wants to he wants to make sure he keeps his job, right? I
Yeah.
mean, as he says, like his father-in-law tells him, "No free rides, Philly boy." Like they ask him, like, "You're the general manager of this store. Why do you need to be the one there at 4:30 in the morning?"
Yeah. Don't
But
you
his
have
father-in-law,
some subordinates that can open the store for you?
right?
He's
It's
like,
like,
yeah, but my
you
father-in-law, he
it's like,
requires me to be there.
which again, like you're the general manager, like you should not be the one doing that.
No.
You paid your time,
Yeah.
right? You did that when you were the assistant manager,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's like, no, he has to be there at 4:30. His father-in-law insists that it's him, right? So, so they go through the whole thing, and while they're in the middle of this, there is a knock at
There's
the
a
door,
knock at the door. And
and, and Mitch is like, "Who is that? I
yeah.
know 9 people all here."
So they answer the door, and it's Nancy, played by
Yes,
Yardley Smith, the voice of
I
Lisa
love Yardley
Simpson.
Smith.
Yes, the
I
voice
love
of
her.
Lisa Simpson, and she
This
comes in, goes straight to
and
Phil.
she's got this like apron on, right?
Yes.
She goes straight. She's like, "It's Phil, here," and he sees her, and you can tell by his face, this is oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. She walks right up to him, right in front of Arlene.
And she's like, "Your housekeeper told me you were here." And he's like, "What are you doing here, Nancy?" And then so it's like, "Yes, what's she doing?" Like, uh, "I'm her boss." She's like, and then she's like, "Well, I guess the wife isn't asked that yet." She's like, he goes up, is like he's supposed to be on your register, and then she's like, and she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, I'm
It's like,
late.
I'm
And he's
late.
like, what?
It's like, what? Like, I'm late. I went and I got one of those pregnancy tests that we have on aisle 4. And it was blue.
He's like, I like how he's like, the ones that are on special.
Yeah, the ones that are on special? It's like, yeah, those ones. And yeah, it came out blue.
It came out blue. It's like, what are you telling me? And then his wife's like, "Oh, yes. What is she telling you? Why is she telling you this?" It's like,
It's like,
I'm
because
her
I'm her boss. I need to know.
So it's like we have a whole health plan.
But no.
And his father's just like, "You screwed this little whore, right? In my father's store." And she's like, "Wasn't the store? It was in his car."
Yeah, it was in his car.
Bill, not Phil. Mitch at this point has a plate of hors d'oeuvres that he's just holding. Yes, this is. And then, so that's why he was like, goes to try to get Phil's, but not Mitch's phone. It's like, "I'm gonna tell my father what you did."
And Phil rips the cord out of the wall. Much to Mitch's dismay. And because he doesn't just rip the cord out of the wall, he rips the outlet out of the wall.
And then
Arlene is
like, "Where are you going?" She's
Well,
like,
I'm going to the bedroom. There means there's a phone in there. He's like, "How do you know there's a phone in the bedroom?"
She's like, "I'm calling." It's like, "Go ahead, call him. I'm sure he's home."
Meanwhile,
it's his night to meet with the other escaped Nazis.
Mitch and Barbara are just standing there watching this.
Like, if hate for people, I need China. That's how full of hate I am. And finally, there's like, someone's like, let's bring out the cake.
Yeah. So after this left. Night, Phil and Arlene got divorced.
No trial separation.
Nope.
Just divorce.
Yeah, just like finding a dead dude in your kitchen. While two gangsters are trying to hide it.
Sign.
Dead guy storage.
My wife painted that. Anyway.
No trial separation, just divorce.
Hey, at least he's going to keep the good coffee.
Yes. Although Mitch is the one that provided the good coffee.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
Which he probably bought. Party. He probably bought from Phil's store. Or from Phil's father-in-law's store.
So they're at the it's after the party.
It's after the party, and Barbara and Mitch are talking. And Barbara's telling Mitch, you should go. You should go on this cattle drive.
Like, it's like, I'm afraid that one day, like, some stock girl's gonna show up at our door saying, like, it's like, no, it's like, I don't want that.
I don't want that.
Like, it's like, you're not happy. Like, you're not happy anywhere right now, though. Right? It's like, you need to go find your smile.
And he's like, no, but we're supposed to go to Florida. I don't want to be there with you and the kids. And, she's like, no, it's like, you should go on this.
You hate my parents.
Yeah. You hate my parents. Like, you hate Florida. It's like, you should go on this cattle drive. You should go on this trip with the guys.
He says something along the lines that, like, he feels trapped. And obviously, like, for a wife, hearing your husband say he feels trapped, that's not going to sound right. Like,
takes it how you would
say.
Yeah. But she takes it how you would expect someone to take it if someone tells you that they feel trapped. She takes it personally. And he's like, no, it's not you. I don't feel trapped with you. I just feel trapped in general, just in life. He's like, right. I love you and the kids more than anything, but I just feel trapped in life. Like I'm not gonna amount to anything. That I'm just stuck. Yep. And she's like,
no, it's like, no, you gotta go and just find that smile of yours again.
Find that smile of yours.
Go with Ed. Take Phil, and he's obviously free now.
Yeah, take Phil. He needs it too. And he's like, no, I need to go to Florida with you and the kids.
Like, no, you're just gonna be miserable.
And she's like, no,
go. This is my birthday gift to you. Is these?
I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is I don't want you to go to Florida with us. And again, he starts to take that the wrong way. Because, you tell somebody you don't want them to go with you, so she's got to explain herself. Just like, no, you need this trip. You need to go. I want you to go and find your smile.
Yes. So he ends up agreeing, obviously. So we get a shot now. They're at the ranch in New Mexico, and the three of them are staying at the fence in this enclosure, and they're watching these other guys wrangle these cows, right? Mm-hmm. Mitch is looking like, it's like, my ass hurts looking at that. Right? And he knows about having a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And they're all dressed like city slickers, right?
Yeah. Mitch has his Mets hat.
Yeah, he's got his Mets cap. What's funny is because Billy Crystal's a Yankees fan, but in this movie, he's a Mets fan. Ed has a jacket on for his sporting goods store that he has, or whatever it is, or whatever he sells.
Yeah, it's sporting goods.
He's a sporting goods salesman.
He's got a sporting goods store.
Yeah, it's whatever brands he sells.
Yeah, but it's got his name on it. And Phil is just there. He's just dressed like Phil.
Yep. and he's looking at that and he's seeing them wrangle, get these cows down. He's like, I could do that to Arlene. Right. And so,
and then they meet. They meet the other.
First it's just the
people,
three of them.
right?
I'm like, well, there's got to be other people coming, right? And so then they start meeting the other people as they come by. Right. The first two is his father and son, right? And they're dentists from Baltimore.
Ben Jessup and Steve Jessup.
I love how the son comes up. It's like, yes, we're black and dentist. We don't need to make anything about it. And the dad's like, they haven't said anything about it. The only one that's making something about it is you.
Yeah, he's so defensive. Steve Jessup is so defensive about how they're black and dentists. I mean, so what?
Yes. You're a dentist. Congratulations. You're both made
awesome.
Dentist. It's a family business. Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
They got.
But anyway, Ben Jessup, the father.
Their teeth definitely look like they're dentists and that they do a good job of cleaning teeth.
Yeah. So Ben Jessup, the father, is played by Bill Henderson. And Steve Jessup, the son, is played by Phil Lewis. And yeah, so they seem like nice guys. They're dentists.
They do. They're a nice father and son. They wanted to do this as their dad really wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Right. And, right. And
the son didn't necessarily want to do it, but he wanted to make his dad happy.
Exactly. Because they have a good relationship.
Yeah. He wanted to go and keep his dad company. Then they meet Barry and Ira Shalowitz.
Yes, played by Josh Mostel and David Paymer. And so then they're like, oh, like Barry and Ira the ice cream?
Like, yeah,
but you don't
that's
look
us.
like any. That's
us.
Like,
that's
but you don't
our
look
ice cream.
Like any of the guys on there. And like, one of us is obese, and the other looks like a balding Jewish dude. Like, do you think that would sell ice cream?
That would sell ice cream? Yeah. So yeah, we get pretty people to sell the ice cream.
David Paymer's always a delight when he's in the movie, by the way.
Yes, he is.
We haven't had a chance to talk about him yet.
But no, yeah, he is. So is Josh Mostel.
Yes.
He's great. And he's fantastic in Billy Madison also.
Yes. I always also love him like Big Daddy because the great line comes at the end when the tugs the heartstrings and we just get I wipe my own ass. Other movies we might be doing one day. Anyway. So, right, we got two groups of two, a group of three, right? So we got 7 people there, right? And then finally, this taxi drops off one lone person, right? And it's
one Miss
pretty lady,
Bonnie Rayburn. Played by Supergirl herself, Helen Slater.
Right? And we realized that she was supposed to kind of come on this trip with a friend of hers, but her friend had to cancel at the last minute. And she thought about not coming, but decided that she should.
And meanwhile, when she gets out of that cab, all 3 of our main characters, they all notice.
Immediately attracted to her.
They all notice that she's getting out of this cab.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the other 4 as well. But
yeah. But it focuses on the 3.
The 3 of them, yes. They all say hello to each other. They greet each other, right? And then finally, we get an introduction from Clay Stone and his wife, Millie.
Mm-hmm.
They are the owners of the ranch. They're the ones that organize this cattle drive, right? And Clay Stone is played by Noble Willingham,
and Millie is Molly McClure.
And he's just saying, like, the stuff we've been watching here the last 30 minutes, 20 minutes, you're going to be doing that same work here within 2 weeks.
Yep, we're going to take a couple of days, teach you how to do this stuff, and then we're going to go on this cattle drive.
And then Ed just shouts out that, Yahoo!
And Clay's like, oh, that's a nice Yahoo, son.
He's like, yeah, this ranch has been my family for 5 generations. Like they live by we've lived by the code of the Old West, right? Like this is not no dude ranch, right? This is not pretend. This is real, right? And you're gonna get these cows for us to Colorado, right? And they talk about, there's these 2 guys over here. They're gonna help lead you, and then the trail leader will be here by nightfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while you're doing this, you're going to be sleeping under the stars, and you're going to see some of the most beautiful country you have ever seen. Right? And we get introduced to Cookie, the chef, also.
Yes.
Cookie is the cook that is going to be going along with them.
He's the one who's going to be providing them with all their food.
When you go home, it'll be cowboys. So we seg from that. We kind of get a little montage of them trying out different. They had a little shop there of where you could get, cowboy hats, boots, whatever,
cowboy clothes,
all that stuff.
And we have that fashion montage of them all trying on different things, different hats, different cowboy outfits, right?
Mitch can't quite find the right hat, and he finally puts his Mets hat back on. He's like, oh, you know what? That's the perfect hat for me, right?
So he settles on this vest and the hat and his Mets hat. Meanwhile, Phil and Ed both have like all this cowboy getup that they're wearing.
And Ed's gonna overspend, like again, because he is really into this, right? He is gonna completely lean into the look like he did with the Spanish bulls, right? Yep.
I mean, would you really expect anything less from Ed?
No.
I mean,
so we cut from there, and we see this little scene of them where they're practicing their lassoing skills, right?
And Ed's picking up on it, Phil's picking up on it, but Mitch just isn't quite getting it. He cannot get it. He's throwing the lasso, but it's not going around the bull's neck, right? And they have one of those little training bulls.
Yep.
Right, that they're trying to lasso. I guess it's a lariat that they're throwing, not a lasso. They're trying to lasso it with a lariat.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Yeah, Ed and Phil are getting it. Mitch isn't. He just can't get it down.
But while they're there, Bonnie's kind of just a little bit off to herself, and she's kind of doing the same. She's trying to figure all this out, and she's on her own, right? Her person she was coming with couldn't make it, we said.
Yeah. And these 2 cowboys, the 2 that work there, the 2 that are supposed to be their guides.
This is Jeff and TR. Played by Kyle Secor and Dean Hallow.
They come over and, they start flirting with Bonnie.
And one of them is like this kind of clean shaven guy. The other is kind of rough. More of that kind of jerky, kind of asshole-ish type cowboy look.
Like, and they're not just flirting with her; they're like aggressively flirting with her.
They're aggressive. They're harassing her.
Yeah.
And so the other guys see this,
and they're kind of backing her into a corner too, like backing her up against the fence.
Like it's an enclosure,
and yeah, the other guys see this, and they're all like,
and she's trying to leave. She's like, "Oh no, we want to help you," right? But they're doing this, like you said, in a very aggressive way. The other guys see it at the other end of the enclosure.
And, our 3 mains, they're all like, we got to do something. And so they decide that Mitch is going to be the one to do something.
Yes.
So Mitch moseys on over there.
It's like, I've never moseyed before.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, how's it going? I just figured I'd mosey on over here. It's funny. I've never moseyed before. I've walked, I've ambled, but never moseyed. I thought I'd give it a try. And, he's just being Billy Crystal.
And it's like, hey, you want to come over with us? And they're like, she's fine just right here. And it's, no, I think I'd really rather go. It's like, it's like, oh, no, you're good. He's like, no, guys, how about you just like give it a little bit of a rest and, she can, come over with us. And then I start getting aggressive towards him.
Uh-huh.
But that's when,
and then
all of a sudden,
Ed and Phil run in, and
that's right.
So, because they decided on Mitch going because Ed was about to go rip one of their heads off.
Yes.
So they decided to calm Ed down, and Mitch would go. And so Ed comes over, and once they start getting aggressive with Mitch, Ed punches one of them. Doesn't he just come up and square off with one?
Right.
I'm trying to remember if the punch comes now. I know a punch comes later, but maybe it's just later.
I think it's later, yes.
Yeah, this time, Ed comes up and he just like tries to square off with one of them. And before the Cowboys can attack...
Oh, wait, no, because that's what happened. Like, Mitch kind of maneuvers a bit, and they got one's like, you stepped on my foot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Ed's like, he did not. And he's about ready to punch him, right? And he's like, the guy's like, you want a piece of this? And he's like, yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
All right. And then that's when we think they're really about to come to blows. But instead,
we get the trail boss.
Jack Palance.
That comes up.
We get the trail boss.
Jack Palance, Curly. He shows up.
And he's able, he lassos one around the neck, sits him straight down.
Yeah, pulls him down to the ground.
Sits him down on the ground.
Right, sits him down against the fence, and he comes up, and the guy's trying to get up, but Jack Palance, Curly, pulls out this big-ass knife and just throws it, and it sticks right between his legs, about 2 inches from his crotch.
I know that the time when I was watching it the other night, all I got was thinking of John Candy and Uncle Buck.
Yes.
Yes. I got my hatchet right here.
I got my hatchet right here. But no, this isn't just hey, I got a hatchet. It's like, I'm going to use this knife on you.
And I'm going to make you think I missed. But no, I landed exactly where I wanted to.
And this is a guy that has worked regularly with Curly.
Yes.
So it makes you wonder, how often does this happen? Is this the first time that he's experienced this from Curly, or is this a regular thing? Anytime that a pretty woman comes to their cattle drive thing, does Curly have to go through this with these guys?
Yep. So,
but anyway, so that
he looks over,
calms the guys down.
Owes you an apology.
And Mitch is like, yes, I'm sorry, I didn't. He's like, no, not you.
It's like, not you. Because Mitch is like kind of scared about what just happened.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. It'll never happen again. And Curly just goes up, he picks the knife out of the ground and just kind of points. It's like, see that it doesn't.
Yeah, see that it doesn't. And then he kind of waves it over in front of Mitch, Ed, and Phil. And then when he gets to Bonnie, he kind of raises it up and tips his hat to her. He's like, ma'am.
Ma'am. And then he leaves, and Mitch is like, did you see that guy? It's the toughest man I've ever seen in my life. Did you see how leathery he was?
He was quite leathery.
But then she's very polite,
Yeah.
She recognizes
she
the
recognizes the bravery that it took for Mitch to come over and do that. And so she thanks him. She thanks the guys, and she thanks Mitch especially for coming over and, being brave and sticking up for her.
Yep.
And then they're supposed to go out first thing in the morning.
Well, the other thing he says, like after it's like, oh well, thanks, I'm married.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, thanks, I'm married. He's like, okay.
Ed gives him a hard time for this
like,
later.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Like I am just trying to cut off any possibility because
I'm trying to cut off any flirtation, anything, because I'm a happily married man.
And it's like, what if you like don't encourage them? They still come after. It's like, well, no, it doesn't happen. It's like because women, they need a reason to have sex, not like so we'll just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they need a deep connection to want to have that, right? And so like, and then right after talking about this, she walks by like she's like good night, right? And he's like she's like good night, and Ed's like that's flirting. Like no, that's just being polite.
Just being polite. Because he's like, good night, sleep tight.
Right. And like I said, they're supposed to be going out the next morning. They're leaving the next morning, right?
Yeah. So this is their last night at the ranch. Early the next morning before sunup, they're going to leave for the cattle drive.
So now it's all the guys, the 7 of them, right? And they're talking about the whole incident earlier, right? And we see off in the distance, we see Curly tending to a horse.
Yeah.
And they're kind of in a circle, and Mitch's back is to Curly, right? And the others can kind of see because again, they're huddled like in a circle.
Mitch is talking about Curly and like, do you see that guy?
He's a psycho.
He's a psycho. He's just
sending us out with a psycho.
They're sending us out with a psycho. Meanwhile, Curly is slowly approaching. And he walks up and stands right behind Mitch.
And they all get quiet.
And Mitch is still going on and on. And then Mitch stops for a second. He's like, he's right behind me, isn't he? And they all just nod.
They all kind of nod their head. Yep. And they all, and he's like, guys, it's lights out. We got to be up early in the morning. And they all just bolt. And Mitch just turns around
Mitch and Curly
slowly and smiles. Like, good evening, Curly. It's like I was just joking about all that. I love Curly's response. Like, crap, bigger than you.
Yeah.
Mitch is like, so he's gonna kill me. And so I love how like Curly's always smoking a cigarette in this movie. Yeah. Like this thin little like he rolls his own cigarettes. Little thin cigarette, right? So we cut into the next morning and everybody's ready to go out. Right? And everybody's there. And he's the one that gets the idea about sending off with the yeehaw.
That would be that'd be Ben.
That's right, because he talks about how
he talks about the old westerns,
seeing these old westerns. I remember going to one
with John Wayne, and they always started out their cattle drives with a big yeehaw. Right. And says, like, how about we all just say yeehaw before we ride out? And so they're all like, okay, let's do it. And so they're all going, yeehaw.
Yep. And I love how Mitch is just like, yeehaw. And then he's like, no. He's like, yeehaw. He's just trying to find the right way to find
the right yeehaw. Meanwhile, Ed just belts it out.
Yeah, no. Like, Ed, and then, Phil gets into it. Everyone else is really getting into really saying "yeah," right? And they leave and they go out and they start their adventure out in the west of New Mexico and Colorado, right? And so and what do we have going on from here? What's the next scene?
So
that's right. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, no. Because they go on, they're taking the cows out, and they get to.
Before that, I'm sorry. Right before they leave, there's a conversation between Ed, Phil, and Mitch about how Phil just got off the phone and found out that the girl is not
Oh,
pregnant.
yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So-
Nancy is not pregnant. So he's relieved.
He's relieved, right? But then, at the same time,
But he's also,
like,
upset, but not upset that his wife left him.
right? He lost his job over a false pregnancy scare, right? Which, I get. So yeah, they continue on after all the yeehaws and all that, right?
So they go off, and
Let's see
is
here.
this when they're riding and Mitch is singing? Or is that after the first stop?
What's after the first stop? I thought.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's after the first stop.
Yeah, because I mean they have a nice little montage of the music as they're all riding off. It's just nice, and again, you're getting these nice vistas.
Yeah. These,
West.
it's the Southwest, the American Southwest. It is
The cinematographer on this
down
movie
there.
was the same cinematographer for Dances with Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that gives you.
And if you have ever traveled through the American Southwest, sure you're going through the desert, but it is some of the most beautiful views you'll ever see. These vistas and buttes and, it's just, it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. So, yeah, so you get the shots, and then you finally just get a shot of the guys, right? And I think they see this one cow that's off by itself, right? And they decide, all right, Mitch, you're going to get the first one, right? This cow is kind of broken up in the group, not too far, right? And he doesn't, he just he rides up to it, and it kind of tries to walk away from him, but he's finally able to kind of walk it back.
He kind of goes around the tree that the cow goes back to, and he kind of walks it back, and it comes back, and he's like, "Hey, I did it! I herded a cow."
And then his horse starts walking backwards when he's like talking about this. It's like, oh look, I'm doing the moonwalk.
It's a moonwalk, and he starts imitating Michael Jackson. Brings his gloved hand up, and it's like, and then the horse just backs up right up next to the other two, and stops right there next to the other two horses.
Yep. We kind of continue conversations. We get one with our ice cream buddies with Ira. What's the other one's name?
Ira and Barry.
Ira and Barry. That's right. Thank you. And they're trying to talk to their accountant about something. Okay, again, they're ice cream moguls,
and they have a cell phone. 90s,
so they do have a cell phone.
They have a cell phone, which
listen to this.
Yes, folks,
they're getting reception in the middle of the desert,
which means they have money.
Like
back
I would be
in the 90s, cell phones were rare. They were only for the rich.
And then they're getting reception.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is even in today, where the areas where they're traveling, there's a good chance that you may not be getting reception.
Yeah.
In 2025, right?
And they were getting reception in 1991. In the middle of the desert.
Mitch just wants to get the Met score from them.
Mm-hmm.
They're still kind of consumed with their city slicker stuff, right? And then finally, they do lose the phone call eventually. But
yeah.
So, the three of them, they kind of continue to have a conversation, and Ed's still talking about like, oh, well, she's pretty, right? Like, you're telling me that you wouldn't, if you couldn't get caught, like you wouldn't.
Yeah, if you couldn't get caught, you wouldn't, spend a night with her. And Mitch is like, no, I wouldn't.
So you wouldn't like to screw her brains out.
Nobody,
right?
If nobody ever found out, you wouldn't do it. He's like, no, because I would know.
Like, I would know. It's like, okay, well, what if alien from outer space comes, lands, right? And she walks out and offers you this amazing night, and then says she's going to get
beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life.
is after this night, I'm gonna walk back into my spaceship and fly back
fly
off to
off.
my planet light years away.
And never come back. You'll never see me again. Would you do it? And he's like, no, I wouldn't.
And then he's like, what? And he's still not getting this. And he's like, because I saw you staring at her. It's like, okay, no, it's like going to an art gallery.
Mm-hmm. Go to an art gallery, you see a Picasso.
I could look at that Picasso.
So he's like, oh, so you're calling her a Picasso? Like, no.
Because Picasso, she'd had 3 tits.
Yeah. She'd be in Total Recall. But
that's what I was thinking.
No, she was a Picasso. She'd have 3 tits. But no, what I'm saying is you go to an art gallery and you admire the art, but you're not going to take it home with you.
Take it home. And he's like, just listen, it's a trap anyway. Look what happened to Phil. It's like the girl came to my house. And then, then as we're talking about the ending this kind of conversation, Curly comes up. He's like, pay attention, girls. We got some strays. He starts to, before Curly rides away, Mitch is like, hi, Curly. Kill anybody today?
Yeah, kill anybody today.
And then Jack, just one simple line, like, day ain't over yet.
Perfect response.
Mitch's smile turns upside down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Jack Palance delivers it perfectly.
Yep. And then they could kind of continue the conversations like, all right. How about this? Like, let's say all your life for breakfast you're eating from the Kellogg's variety pack.
You love it.
I think that's when he inserts the conversation about the spaceship. But.
Yeah. But then he's like, but then one day you're stuck with just one of them. You got to pick one out of the variety pack. And that's the only cereal you'll ever eat for the rest of your life. You always just have to have that one every day.
Yep.
I mean, we can tell that Ed, yeah, he's married to an underwear model, but clearly he's not happy.
No,
he's not happy being with one woman for the rest of his life because he's not used to it. He's not, he's always been, somewhat of a womanizer.
Yeah, exactly. And then so they could, Phil starts to kind of chime in this conversation too. I can't remember if it's Mitch or Phil's like, okay, so the big problem is that you're married to this gorgeous underwear model. He thinks the sun rises and sets in your pants, and that's not enough. And it's like, oh, you don't understand. It's like, yeah, I don't understand. And it's like,
yeah, I think that's Phil that's saying that. I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, no, I don't want to screw around with her. He's like, well, don't. And then he finally tells Phil, like, well, you're the king of restraint. It's like, well, you mounted some 18-year-old girl, and Phil's like, well, she was 20.
She was 20.
And then it gets to the end of it. It's like, hey, Phil, what do you use for protection? Paper or plastic?
Paper or plastic.
And it gets heated, and the voices start rising, right? And then Curly's like they're spooking the cattle, right?
Yeah, because this is after they've made camp for the night.
Yes,
they're sitting over around a campfire.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, the conversation went continued later.
They're not on the horses anymore.
Yes,
but yeah.
So that they finish the conversation, right? And they wake up in the morning, right? And finally, Phil and Ed, they make up, right? They're good buddies, right?
Yeah.
They don't have any beer there or shots of liquor to kind of bury it that way, but they make up. And so, but Mitch does have something.
Mm-hmm. Mitch
He brought his coffee grinder.
They're gonna celebrate their making up with a good cup of coffee. They're gonna, because no morning's right without starting it off with a good cup of coffee.
That's right.
So he pulls out his coffee grinder that's battery powered.
Battery powered. That's right. He's like, hey, look, it's battery powered.
And he turns it on and it starts grinding the coffee. It gets real loud and it spooks the cows.
It spooks the cows. All of them. And
there's a stampede. The cattle is running all over the place, trampling through the tents, everything, knocking everything starting over.
To go after it, and
except Ira's in the shower.
That's right. He's in the shower. Forgot about that.
They've got a little camp shower set up. They've got a camp shower set up, and Ira's in there, and Barry is filming it so that they can send it back to their mom and show how great of a time they're having.
But they gotta get dressed. They gotta chase after the stampeding cattle, right?
Cattle are just stampeding, just crashing through everything. Ira
Cookies
barely
cookies in his little covered wagon. Yep. He's getting his swigs of liquor.
The cows come, they knock over the wagon, and Ira barely makes it out of the shower and gets a towel on and tries to run away from the cows.
So finally, Mitch is like, I gotta go save Bonnie, right? So
and Mitch
goes into her tent,
and the coffee grinder is still going.
He's still holding on to it. Yeah, it's still going.
It's still going. He's still holding on to it, and he's trying to figure out what is spooking these cows. He doesn't realize that it's his coffee grinder
in your tent. And he's like, he's about to say, "Hey, Bonnie, there's a cow." Like, in your tent. And he runs away. And then finally, and they're going by. Bonnie's just somewhere else out there. She's got headphones on. She's meditating.
She's like up on a rock and she's looking the other way. She doesn't see any of this going on behind her. And finally, Mitch climbs up into a tree because he's being chased by these cows and he's getting flashbacks to Spain. He realizes he doesn't want a third grinder. He doesn't want a third hole in his butt. So he scampers up a tree. He scurries up there.
He scurries up a tree.
All these cows run under him. And he's still holding on the coffee grinder.
He is. And then finally connects after he gets down and he looks at Curly and he sees the grinder.
Well, no, the cows are still running and then you hear a gunshot.
Oh, that's right.
And Curly is standing there with his gun pointed up to the sky, and all the cows just stop dead in their tracks.
And he just says, "City folk." So they start making sure all the cattle are collected, but there's still a few strays.
And so Mitch realizes that it was the coffee grinder, and Curly says something to him. I don't remember what he said, but Curly brings it to his attention that it's his coffee grinder that's doing it. And
I think it was just a look. I think he gave him a look.
I think it was just a look. And Mitch is like, "Come on, it's French roast."
Hey, it's delicious. So, but once they've kind of accounted for all the cows, they realize there's some that have
there's a few of them that wandered off,
and so he's going to take Mitch with him.
Mm-hmm. So
to bring him all
so
back.
the other cowboys are like, "Oh, we'll go get him," and Curly's like, "No, I'll get him."
He's like, "I'll take you, him, right?" And he reluctantly goes. He doesn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're riding along, and he's trying to make some small talk, and it's not really happening.
Yeah. And they find the cows,
Yep.
And they wrangle him up, and they start heading back.
But realize it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late to make it all the way back to the rest of the
so
crowd.
They're going to make camp.
The rest of the groups. They're going to make camp for the night, and they're going to proceed in the morning and meet up with everybody else then. And this scene is easily the best scene in the movie.
Yes.
I love this scene.
So, like, obviously the fun, like the presence and some of these, the quick lines he's delivered earlier in the movie were a big part of his win. But, like, I think this scene here is what
this scene
really
is
helps
what
bring
really cemented his Oscar win. So, yeah, Curly's just sitting there. He's got a leather strap. He's sharpening his knife.
Oh, I forgot. Before we get to that scene, like the first one they come up to, he tells Mitch, like, "Oh, throw a rope around that one."
Oh, yeah. Right? That's right. Yeah.
And Mitch's like, I still haven't lassoed anything.
On their horses. And, Curly's like, go ahead, rope that one. And the cow's just standing there. The cow's just standing there. It's not moving.
I have a roping disability. And like you said, the cow's just standing there. Difficulty is 1.
Yeah. And so Curly just looks at Mitch. Mitch's like, okay. He pulls out his rope and he starts, trying to swing it over his head. And then he goes to throw it and he ropes Curly next to him.
He's like, hey, I got a better idea. How about I just take the rope?
Why hasn't anybody thought about this? Why throw the rope when you can just walk up to the cow? Like, hey, Mr. Cow, how are you today? I got this rope here. You want to wear it? Like, see? And he puts the rope around over the cow's head and around its neck. He's like, there, see? I roped Mr. Cow. See, isn't that easy?
Like, what's wrong with this?
And he's still holding on the rope. Curly whistles, and the cow goes running.
And it's just dragging Mitch.
And Mitch is still holding onto the rope. So he's dragging. He's like, I'm on vacation. He's dragging behind it. Yeah. And then we get their camp.
Yep. And so we're at the camp.
Best scene in the movie. So Curly's sitting over on one side. He's sharpening his knife. He's got a leather strap, and he's just sharpening the knife. And Mitch is sitting there just terrified, not thinking that he's going to make it through the night.
Getting ready to shave? And then Curly's like, you make a lot of smart remarks at my expense, don't you? And it's like, I'm just joking. I do it with everybody. It's my way.
Like, I don't mean any offense by it.
It's like, I don't understand your way. He's like, put that away. In the harmonica.
Yeah, because he starts pulling out a harmonica and he starts he
continues to play.
He starts playing the harmonica.
Like, I said, put it away.
And then Mitch grows a backbone.
It's like, hey, the first time we met, like, you kind of embarrassed me, and so I teased you, and maybe I shouldn't have, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. And
if you're sitting there trying to play with a knife to frighten me, you're doing a good job.
So if you're going to kill me, then kill me. But if not, let's get on with our night. And then he starts playing
I'm on vacation.
Because I'm on vacation, yeah. So he starts playing his harmonica again. And then Curly comes over, and he sits down on a log right next to Mitch while Mitch is playing. And Curly knows the song. Singing. He knows the song that Mitch is playing, so he starts singing it. And then
see them tumbling down, pledging their love to the ground, right? The tumbleweed. Anyway,
the tumbling tumbleweed.
And then it kind of ends, and Mitch is like, "Do you know any show tunes?"
And then we get the next morning.
Right? Next morning. So they had this good evening together.
It's a good evening.
And
now they have a morning.
A bond.
Yes,
and it's continuing into the morning.
And this is a continuation. So I know, yes, technically it's a new scene, but it's a continuation of that.
Yes.
So, like, that's the first half This is the second half of the best scene in the movie, right?
Yes.
Where
and
they're on their horses, they're riding back there. Yeah.
And Mitch is the one.
Mitch is the one who's bringing it up to Curly, and Curly's just confused.
And he's like, huh? It's like, well, okay. And finally he's like, is she a redhead? It's like,
he's like, sure,
I guess.
She's the most beautiful one we've ever seen. He's like, I like redheads.
It's like, yeah, I like redheads. Like, well, have you ever been married? It's like, no. In love?
Yeah.
Once.
Like once.
I was, driving across the, the Panhandle, Texas, past this little farm around sundown.
I see her
out in the field. There's this young woman. I see her.
Young woman
working in the dirt.
Most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Up the stretch her back. Oh, this little cotton dress. The sun was setting behind her, showing the shape that God gave her.
And Mitch is like, well, what did you do next?
What happened?
What happened?
What did you do next? Yeah.
He's like, I just kept going. I went on.
Well, like,
he's like, why? Why didn't you go talk to her? Like, and ruin it? Ruin the moment? Like, I figured, she had somebody else. She was there, but the love of my life.
It's like, what? You could have been with her. And he's like, I've been with lots of women. But she could have been, your love, the love of your life.
No, she was.
But she is.
She is the love of my life.
It's like, well, that's great. No, it's not great, Curly. Like, you messed up. It could have been terrific. It's like, my choice. Right? It's like, a cowboy leads a different kind of life. When they were cowboys, we're a dying breed. But in a couple of days, we're going to move that herd across the river. Oh. Now he's getting romantic about cattle drive, right?
Like cattle
driving
drive
through the valley. Like, there's nothing like bringing in a herd. Like, life makes sense, right? And Mitch is still having trouble, like, kind of processing this. So he like chuckles a bit about it, and Curly's like, what's funny? Like, you silly city folk are all the same. You worry about a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, my wife told me she doesn't want me around.
Yeah.
I love her. Like, is she a redhead?
Yeah, she a redhead. But then Curly's like,
no, like, I'm just saying, like, how old are you? He's like, you're 38. He's like, 39. It's like, yeah, you all come here around when you're 40.
Mm-hmm.
With the same problems. Like, you get all these knots over the 50 years and the 50 weeks of the year. You think you come here and then all get unraveled. Right? But none of you get it. And then this is where we get kind of like the one of the other like famous shots. And lines. It's like, you know what the secret of life is?
Yeah, it's like, you know what the secret of life is? And he holds up his finger. It's like this.
Like this. It's like, your finger?
Your finger? He's like, no, one thing. It's like, what's that? He's like, that's for you to find out. It's like,
and it's like, when I first saw this movie when I was like 7, I was like, what the hell does he mean? Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? He's like, you gotta figure it out. That's one thing.
He's like, okay.
And Curly just like,
and then as they're doing this, as they're wrapping this conversation up, you hear this cow like
Curly's just kind of smiling. He's got that cigarette in his mouth, and he's kind of
he does
smiling.
Say that, yes.
And yeah, they see over to the side. There's this cow that's it's in pain.
Yep.
It's laying down. It's mooing like crazy,
and Mitch is like, "Oh, what's wrong?" He's like, "Oh, she's having a baby. Like, she's pregnant. I realized she was pregnant, and I thought we'd be able to get there.
Yeah, I thought
it's in time, but no, it's coming. We gotta deliver this baby, cow."
So they get over there, and Curly, kneels down next to the cow's head, and he's like, "Okay, I'll hold her. You're going to have to deliver this calf." And Mitch is like, what? Why don't I hold her? It's like, you don't know what you're doing.
And if she kicks, she's going to kill you. Yeah. I hold her here. You'll be okay. But you got to put your hands up the cow vagina.
Mm-hmm.
And say it in so many words. It's like,
you got to get all up in there.
They got to get all up in there. It's like, just I love how he's like, you got to stare in there and tell me what you see.
And he's like, okay. So he, takes his gloves off and he reaches in there and
He's like, oh crap. It's like, what?
Like,
it's
do you see a
I
head?
lost my watch. My watch fell off.
Well, that comes after he like reaches up in there. But no, first he's like, Curly's like, do you see a head? He's like, no, I see a tail. And Curly's like, oh, it got flipped. It got flipped around. We got to get this cow out now.
Like, you got to deliver this cow now.
He's like, you got to reach up. You got to get in there. You got to get deep in there. Grab that cow and grab that calf and pull. And yeah, so he buries his arms up in there. And that's when he's like, oh, I lost my watch.
He's like, don't worry, the watch. It was a gift.
And he grabs onto these calf legs.
He could go back in there and grab it out.
He could. Or it'd be nice if it came out like on one of the calf's legs, like the calf was wearing it.
But it's like, it's like he starts grabbing it and like he starts taking legs out and like you get a full view.
Mm-hmm. You get a full view of cow vagina. Cow-gina.
But eventually this entire cow comes out. This baby calf comes out.
And Mitch is covered in placenta and birth goo.
If you think about it, no camp chef's going to be taking care of that.
No. But he pulls out this calf and, falls back onto his back and the calf's laying on him.
And he's not concerned about being covered in cow.
He's not concerned about being covered in cow juice. He's just...
He can't believe that he birthed a freaking calf.
Hey, I made a cow. And he's just holding onto this calf like it's his baby.
Like, you didn't make that cow.
He's holding onto this calf like it's his baby, and then it stands up and starts walking around. It's like, oh,
he's
look
already
at that. He's already walking. He gets that from my
side.
side.
And then, Curly looks up like, you did a pretty good, cowboy. Right?
And then you hear a gunshot.
And then and Mitch keeps talking, but then you hear gunshots.
You hear a gunshot, and we realize that Curly just shot the mother cow.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, she was in pain. And
she was dying. She was dying. She wasn't going to make it. I put her out of her misery.
And it snaps him back. And like, it's, there's this one thing, like he's upset that this happened, but he's realizing like this kind of just the reality, like, God, this is what can happen. And, but he still did something awesome that you never expected to, in the middle of the mountains, to deliver a baby calf.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was not on his bingo card when he left New York.
I mean, he couldn't accurately tell like the time of birth because his watch was still inside the mother. But
and so they're back at camp, right? And he is feeding the baby cow.
Mm-hmm.
He's made a little bottle.
They made a bottle out of a glove.
Yep. And he's just already a pro at just like feeding this cow.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I think I'm going to name him Norman.
Yep. We don't say why Norman, but yeah, I'm going to name him Norman.
Well, didn't he say he was naming him after like his grandpa or something like that?
Maybe that was in there. You might be right.
Because he looked like him.
While they're continuing this, after they kind of finish that conversation, and Ira and Barry are there, and they start talking about ice cream flavors.
Yeah. Right?
Because
they're all eating dinner. Cookie has cooked them a nice meal.
And then Ira's just which one's David Paymer, Ira or Barry?
David Paymer is Ira.
Okay, so Ira is looking at Barry. He's like, well, what's the perfect flavor for this meal? Barry thinks for about 2 seconds. I got cherry vanilla.
Yeah.
Oh no. Ira asked cherry vanilla, and Barry's like, no. If it was Chinese food, that's right on the money. But this toasted almond.
Yeah, toasted almond.
And then, our 3 friends are like, what are you doing?
And Ira's like, oh, Barry's an expert at this. He can pair the right ice cream with any meal.
Right. And they all kind of laugh. Like, no, go ahead. Challenge him. Like, okay, yeah, all right, challenge him. Right. So
Mitch is like,
okay, Frank and beans. And
like,
Ira's
come on.
Scoop of chocolate, scoop of vanilla. He just throws his plate on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, challenge me.
Give me,
and then finally,
give me what you got.
And so Mitch is like, sea bass. It's like grilled, sauteed.
Potatoes au gratin.
Asparagus.
And as soon as he says asparagus, everybody's like,
ooh, asparagus. What ice cream goes with asparagus? And I like this dramatic music. The music is rising.
Yes, the dramatic music. And Barry sits there for a second. He's thinking, and Ira starts getting worried.
Yeah, he's like, oh boy.
Like Ira's thinking, wow, did he stump him? And Ed and Phil are like just watching in awe.
And then he just says, rum raisin.
And then he's like,
and Mitch is like
it took a lot out of him.
Like, how do you know he's right? It's like, how do we know? 1,400 outlets across the country. That's how we know. Anyway, they continue on. Now they have a conversation about baseball, about Roberto Clemente or Hank Aaron. And Barbara's like, what? Like, I don't like. How can you talk about baseball?
Yeah, Bonnie.
Like, I like baseball. How can you talk about it?
How can you like? It's like I don't get how men can be obsessed with baseball.
It's like I used to date this guy. Like,
I think she was married to the guy, wasn't he?
Or she lived with him. She said.
Okay, yeah, lived with this guy. He was an encyclopedia in baseball, and
it's like, no, like I don't hate baseball. I like it. I don't know how you can spend so much time discussing it and memorizing who played third base for the Pirates in 1960.
And all three of them, all like,
it's like, and bitch is like, beat you. He's like, I got you by half a second. It's like, and she's like, that's what I mean. Like, and like, well, what do you and your friends talk about? It's like, I don't know, relationships. Are they working? Are they not?
And then Phil chimes in. And Phil is like, when I was a kid, when I was growing up, my dad and I, we never spoke.
Communicate.
We couldn't communicate. We didn't have the best relationship, but we could always talk about baseball. So
like that was real.
That was real. Like, yeah. It was, yeah. And, he's talking about this, and Bonnie, she starts to understand. She starts to understand
she sees
the importance of baseball in his life.
And so, then Mitch decides he's going to slightly change the subject. He's like, hey, you know what the secret of life is? It's this.
And he holds up his finger.
Puts up his finger. It's like, it's one thing. You're like, well, what's that? It's like, oh, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Curly knows what it is, though.
Curly knows what it is, though, yeah.
How I invite him over. And so like, okay. So, and Curly, he's sitting, not too far off, kind of like on this.
He's sitting on this little ridge on these rocks.
Yep.
And so, and this is the.
He's like, it's like he started to walk. He's like, he's actually a very interesting guy, right? He's like, hey, Curly. He gets up. He's like, Curly, and like Curly's not moving.
And he walks up, and Curly's just sitting there, staring straight ahead, eyes wide open. And as Mitch gets closer to him, he's like, "Hey, look, he's a real cowboy.
He's such a cowboy. Yet
He's such a cowboy.
Sleeps with his eyes open
so he can watch the herd." And
but
then
he realizes,
he realizes that he's not sleeping.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Like Curly. And so then we cut to a scene. They're having a little funeral.
Mm-hmm.
They buried him.
They have a fresh grave.
Yep. And someone's like, "Don't you need a license to bury somebody?" He's like, well, we're like out in the middle of the desert. Like, who's going to do anything about this, right? And like, anyway, this is probably where he wants to be buried. And he did say he was a dying breed. Right? And so I was like, I don't think he meant on this trip.
Yeah. And so they're all standing around his grave, and then
I was finally like, well, shouldn't we say something? Like a eulogy? Right? And one of the other cowhands, Mitch, is like, Mitch is like,
hey, Cookie, you knew him best.
You knew him best.
You got anything to say?
And I'm like, Lord, we give you Curly. Try not to piss him off.
Try not to piss him off.
And I'm like, that's it. What else is there?
So then Mitch says a few words.
And he's like, I got chicken burn. And I gotta go back.
Chicken burn. I gotta go back.
Yeah, and Mitch, Mitch says, it's like, what can I say about Curly? I didn't know you well, but I'll never forget you. You lived life on your terms. It was simple, honest, and brave. And I'm glad for this short time we spent together. We get a bunch of amens, right?
Then they go and they pick up Curly's jacket and hat. Yep. And they take it over to the wagon.
And also now we have TR and the other guy. Like, they're going to be leaders now, right?
Yeah, TR and Jeff. Yeah, they're going to be the leaders because they're the only other two actual cowboys there. Because the trail boss is dead now. So they're going to take over.
Yep. And so they're all riding. And, we got our three mains again. They're talking and,
they're talking about what their best day was.
Well, before they get to the best day, what kind of starts it is, Mitch is just kind of thinking, it's like, the stops make you think, right? And Phil's like, oh, stop the clock, 25 minutes. I win, right? He's like, what? We bet that, within 30 minutes.
That's right.
You're talking about death. It's like, well, we just came from a funeral. Like, why would he think I would? It's like, anyway. So then they get into about their best days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Mitch is actually talking about how, like, it's actually a good day. They just buried this guy, but, like, it's actually a beautiful day, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's like, I'm with my two best friends in this beautiful country. It's a good day. And so they share. And so Phil goes first, right? He's like, all right, I'll go first. My wedding day. It's like, I thought you hated your wife. It's like, yeah, I get that. But, like, my dad was real proud of me. Like, he gave me this little smile. Like, he knew I was all growing up. I realized, like, hey, I made it. Like, I'm not just a screw up. Right? No, didn't ask them. Because they're when they first said, "What's your best day?" Then Ed chimed in. He's like, "And you can't say the day your kids were born." That's right. Yes. And he's like, so he says that. It's like, what's your worst day? It's like, every day after that.
Yeah, every day since.
And then Mitch goes and
talks about how when he was a kid, his dad took him to a Yankees game.
His first Yankees game, and it's about the experience of the stadium and his dad getting him food there and just talking on the way home. That entire experience. It was a great experience. Then he gets to his worst day. It's like, oh yeah, that was about 2-3 years ago. Barbara found a lump. They're like, what? You never told us that.
It turned out to be nothing.
But that whole day, it was just terrible.
Ed's like, but it turned out to be nothing. It's like, yeah, but before we knew it was nothing, it was the worst day of my life.
It was terrifying. Right?
And so then it goes
Right,
to Ed. And Ed talks
he's like,
about...
I don't want to do this. Like,
I don't want to do this.
You wanted to play this game. Right?
And finally Ed concedes, and he's like, when I was a teenager, one day my dad, he...
they're fighting again with my mom.
He was fighting again with mom. And
this time she caught him again. But this time, the girl drove by the house to pick him up. Like, I realized he wasn't just cheating on mom. He was cheating on all of us. Mm-hmm. So I told him, we don't love you.
Yeah. Go. Be with her. We don't want you here. We don't need you.
He acted like he was going to hit me, and I don't budge. I just stand there. He turns around and he leaves.
And I never saw him again.
Never bothered us again. And I took care of mom and my sister from that day on. That was my best day.
And then they're like, if that was your best day, what was your worst?
Same day.
Like, same day. And they all got quiet.
Mm-hmm. And then I love the next little scene because it's the end of the day. Sun's like setting. And they're just pretending to play a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's narrating.
They've got a tree branch, and they're, just pretending to throw a ball. I don't think they actually have a ball with them. But they got a tree branch. They're swinging like a bat.
Yep.
And then...
But then we get to our next scene. And Cookie is drunk.
Cookie is drunk.
Not just... I mean, he is... He's gone.
He is drunk. And
he is riding this little carriage hard.
Yeah, he's in his covered wagon, and he's got the horses hooked up to it, and he's just riding it hard.
I love how he moons them. Somehow he drew a smiley face on his ass. Yes, he drew a smiley face on his ass, and he's mooning him from the front of the covered wagon while it's going, while the horses are running. Pulling this wagon. It's like, is that a smiley face?
And so everybody else is like,
and he starts throwing their food.
Yeah, he starts throwing their food. Just throwing their food.
Like, he's throwing our food.
So they all get on their horses and they're chasing him.
And he's going towards this big ravine.
Mm-hmm. He's going towards Sean Ash Ravine, about to become Cookie's Ravine.
And he finally sees that he's going straight towards this ravine, and they all start yelling at him, "Jump!" And so he jumps.
Mm-hmm. He jumps, right? And the horses and the covered wagon go over.
I love how this could be a moment to kind of keep things a little bit more serious,
but no. Now there are 2 mounds of dirt, 2 graves.
It's like, what can he say about Skyrocket and Buttercup? And then someone's like, don't say anything. Just go.
I can't believe we buried the horses.
And Rich is like, well, the forest kind of actually like dug them into the ground. We just kind of put dirt on top of them.
But Cookie,
she's still just shocked by all of it.
But Cookie's legs are broken now.
Yes. And we're like, well, and then they're like, okay, well, we don't have we don't have a covered wagon. Also, we lost all the food. We don't have our cook. How are we going to move the food in the tents?
We have
tents roll up.
We have enough food to last us a couple of days.
We can put in their saddlebags. Right. The problem is that his legs are broken. Mitch's like, oh God, they're going to shoot him.
Yeah, they're going to shoot him. So
they're like, no, we get him out of here. Like, me and TR, we'll stay with you in the herd. We'll bring him across this rough mountain country that's coming up to Colorado. right? But there's a town that direction, about half day's ride out. We'll draw a map. Some of you, we just need someone to take Cookie out.
Yeah, we can build a little sled for him, and you drag him behind the horse.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
And so the Jessups volunteer. Ben Jessup volunteers that he and
Steve's
Steve
like, what,
go.
Dad? Like, you really wanted to do this.
It's like, yeah, but we're the only ones with any medical training.
So it makes most sense that we go. And besides, this could still be an adventure. Come, ride with me, son.
Steve's like, all right, Dad, let's go. Let's do it.
This is some movie somewhere where Steve probably doesn't want to be a dentist.
Yep.
That movie exists out there somewhere.
But I love it because Ben's like, we're the only ones with any sort of medical training. And Steve's like, we're dentists.
We give people just enough nitrous so that when we extract that tooth.
But Ben's like, but what if he needs help? What if we're the only ones that can help him if he needs help?
It's like in Lost, when Juliet needs Bernard to help with the appendectomy because he has some medical training.
Yes.
And what does he do? He helps knock
dentist.
out. They can knock people out safely. Anyway. So they leave. The rest of the group ends up making camp for the night. But of course, now these two are drunk again.
Yes.
And there is not Curly to keep them in line.
So Jeff and TR, who I can only imagine it's TR is short for Texas Ranger.
And they are drunk. And they're shooting their guns. They're just being ridiculous, right? And everybody else is just kind of huddled up in one of the tents. It's like, shouldn't someone say something or do something? It's like, no. They're drunk. We shouldn't mess with them now. Like, it's too dangerous. Let them
sleep it off. And then
that's when one of them is grabs like,
Norman. Hey, I got an idea. Norman, come here, cow. Come here, Norman. And they bring Norman out. And one of them draws his gun. He's like, oh, Michi.
They're still pissed about what Michi did.
Mm-hmm.
Way back earlier.
Come on out. And they're like putting the gun in Norman's mouth. Like they're going to shoot him.
Yes. Come out and play.
I miss you.
I miss you.
And then, so, Mitch decides like he's got to go out there because they're going to kill Norman.
Yep. And so he comes out.
So
like,
Ed and Phil try to hold him back at first, but he's like, "No, guys, I got to go." And so they let him go.
So he goes, I was like, "Hey, Norman, have you been bothering these nice cowboys?"
Like, what have I told you about?
You try to teach them the right thing.
You try to teach them the right thing, but they're kids today. He's like, come on, Norman, let's go to bed.
And then, like, you pansy ass bastard. I was like, you talking to me or Norman? It's like, but that's when it gets real. It's like, calls him the F word, the snot nosed.
Yeah.
So it's like, guys, listen here. We got a group of people here. We came out for a good time. And it's been a little strange, like, but we're counting on you to, get us through this. Like, just sleep it off. Right? And then, like, they really, like, get into it. And then, now this is when, like, Ed and Phil come out.
Yeah.
Right?
Ed,
and, like,
So Ed comes out because they point the gun at Mitch. And Ed comes out, and he this is when he punches him.
Yep.
So Ed, he kicks the gun out of his hand and then punches him. And then they get into a scuffle.
They're really about to get Norman, but Phil has picked up the gun.
Yeah, so...
And does he shoot the gun or not?
No. So... Phil, I think... So... one of them, I don't remember if it's Jeff or TR. Whichever one is fighting with Ed. Phil comes over. Does Phil knock him on the ground or does Ed knock him on the ground?
I think it's Phil. And Phil has the...
Yeah. Phil comes up, he knocks him on the ground.
He's got the gun.
And he's pointing it at him. And he's like, all right, let's all calm down.
Mitch is like, Phil, and Phil's like, no, I hate bullies. They don't just beat you up, they take away their dignity.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell, all his pent-up rage from his wife and father-in-law.
Mm-hmm. It's all coming out right here.
It's coming out. He's like, I hate it. And these guys finally, go off.
They're about
you guys
to
go
pants.
sleep it off.
And he cocks the gun. And he's, you're convinced that he may actually pull this trigger.
Right. He's like, I've been under a lot of stress. Lost my wife, my job. I've got a rash from the bushes.
A rash from making in the bushes.
And then, after those guys have left, it's like, Phil, okay, calm down. Why don't we put the gun down? And it's like, I can handle a gun.
And he storms off into the tent.
And it's like, okay. He's like, yeah, I used to keep one in the store. We close up late at night and there's a lot of cash on hand, right? And we got to make sure everything, matches the total. The register has to exactly match the cash, right? Can't be a penny off, right? And then we got to check the stock, right? And he goes through all these lists of responsibilities. It's like, oh, it's such a responsible job, right?
Yeah.
And then he just balls it all out.
Starts
right?
Bawling like a baby.
And then
he's just letting it all out.
This is how when they get into that, but it's like, okay, Philly, right? What they used to call him, like Philly, right? It's like it's not that bad. He's like, no, I'm at a dead end. I'm 40. I've wasted my life, right? I'm getting divorced, and I committed adultery. And then this is such a lovely image, right? It's like, hey, remember when we were kids and play ball, and play didn't go the way you want it to go?
So we yell do-over. Your life is a do-over. You have a clean slate. You can do whatever you want now.
Right? And they're talking him down. He's starting to really settle down because his friends are there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But then that's when Bonnie comes in. It's like, oh, well, I think the fun's going to continue. They're gone. Who? Jeff and TR. They took the horses and they rode off. I guess they thought we might get them in trouble. Yeah.
You think? Yeah. So now all these city slickers are stuck with the herd of cattle, and they got to figure out what to do.
And so there's a debate. So most of them want to just they know the route to the town that right from earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
How would we just do that?
So let's go meet up with Ben and
we just have to
Steve.
leave the cows here. Right? But Ed doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, Ed doesn't want to. Ed's like, no, we have to finish this run. We have to get these cows, this cattle
has found
to
his purpose
the ranch.
in this. Right? We've been entrusted to do this. We need to do this.
Because
I need to prove something right here.
He needs to prove something to himself. That he's not, just a washout. He's not he's actually a responsible person. That
right?
He can, if he starts something, he can finish it.
He's like, Curly said there was this river, right? We had the basic idea where we should go.
He said there's a river and then a valley.
Right?
And he's like, you guys can all go
you go ahead
to the town.
You guys head to the town,
but I'm driving this herd. And Mitch is trying to plead with him to come with them to the town. And Ed is like, no, I am driving this herd. And then Phil chimes in. He's like, I'm coming with you.
Right. And because I was also like, Mitch, you're right about all those other big things we're doing. Like, yeah, that was fun. Like, no, this is real. Mm-hmm. We're going to do this. And Phil's like, yeah, you know what? I'm coming with you.
And Mitch is like, what? You guys are crazy.
Like, yeah, well, maybe, it's like, maybe Mitch, maybe we can do this, right? Like, why don't you just accept that you might not know the particular problems that both of us are going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have our unique problems.
And we need this.
None of us can fully understand each other's, but at least we can support each other, right?
And we need to do this. So Mitch, reluctantly,
it's like, okay,
lets them
that's
go.
fine. You can go ahead and do that.
He's like,
do you think this will help your broken parts get healed? Fine, you can do this. The rest of us are going.
So it cuts later on, and Ed and Phil are trying to herd these cows.
Right, and they're bickering with each other. And some cows are going off over this crest of a hill. Right?
Yeah, and so they start calling out to him.
Phil sees, like, they start calling out, and they get over, and Phil's like, oh, you know what? The hell with you anyway.
And then the cows turn around, and they start coming back.
They're like, oh.
It's like, oh, it worked.
It worked.
And then behind the cows comes another horse with Mitch on it.
And he
Only
has
this time
the Mets hat.
Yes, he's now wearing Curly's cowboy hat.
Yep.
He's still wearing that vest. Yep. He's wearing Curly's cowboy hat.
And Ed's like, nice hat, cowboy. And he just, he tips the brim of the cap like a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
And like Curly always said, there's nothing like bringing the herd home. Right? The music swells, right? It's upbeat music, right? We're kind of back into this hopeful aspect of things, right?
And they're hurting
Curly
these
die.
cows.
We've had horses die, right? We've had a chef break his legs, right?
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Pretty horse. Pretty horse. That would be the character from The Godfather.
That was a real horse head, by the way.
That was a real horse head.
One of these days, I'm sure we're going to do The Godfather.
We'll do The Godfather. That might be broken into 2 episodes.
It might be.
And I love how, like, when he shows up, feels like it's Mitchie the Kid.
It's Mitchie the Kid.
And so now they're continuing on bringing the horses, and this is funny. I had a good laugh at this. They're trying to teach Phil how to use a VCR.
Yes.
To tape a show while another show is going on.
Mitch is trying to explain to him how to tape a show while something else is going on, while he's watching something else, and Phil's like, but you have to have it on channel 3. And Mitch is like, no, you don't have to have the TV on channel 3. He's like, you mean I don't have to watch what I'm recording? It's like, no, if you do it right, you can watch whatever you want while the VCR is recording. Ed's getting fed up.
It's like, wait, you don't need a TV to record? Like, how do I see it? Well, to see it, you'd still need a TV.
Yeah, you still need a TV. But
and it's like, just shut up. He'll never get it.
And so they're okay, fine.
Those cows could tape it by now, but Phil can't.
Yeah. Then Phil's like, okay, fine. But one more question. How do you set the clock?
It's like, you're dead.
Because nobody knows how to set the clock on a VCR.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever known how to do that.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, those
were the days.
Those are the oh my.
Those were
VCRs.
the days. Those were the days.
So now it's starting to rain. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making sure all of the herds staying together, and they're coming to the river, right? But it's raining hard, and this river is fast.
It is. It's pouring down rain,
and they're looking like there's another way around.
And before they get to the river, before they get to the river, there's a steep hill that's coming
going down to the bank of the river, right?
And it's all mud.
They're at the top of the bank, right? Before they get there, right? And like you said, it's muddy. That river is fast. And they're like, okay, well, is there maybe another way around? That's like, it could be 100 miles.
It could be, it'll take days to get around there.
It's like, no, we got to bring him across, right? And so he starts walking down this embankment. And he's doing it slowly, and he gets down to it. It's like, and he realizes, okay, it's not deep. It's fast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that deep.
It's wide. It's wide, but it's not deep.
Yeah. And so Phil follows, and they start bringing them all across.
And Mitch is still like, you guys are crazy. And so he comes down.
Yep.
He comes down last, and they bring the cows down, and they're leading the cows across this river, and all the cows are going across just fine.
Yeah.
They're
getting across again because
the river's not too.
It really
deep.
Isn't that deep. It's like it's probably up to like the the
maybe
knees of the cows.
Well, no, it's maybe up to their bellies. Because their legs are fully submerged.
That's true.
But it's maybe up to their their bellies, just under their shoulders. And
they all get across.
They'll get across, and then
except one.
Then Mitch realizes, well, what about Norman? And we see Norman's struggling. He's getting taken down the river, and he's mooing his little calf moo.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch is like, Norman, we got to save Norman. And so he turns around and he starts riding down the riverbank, down alongside of the river. And Ed and Phil are yelling to him. He's like, just leave him. It's just a calf. And
he's like, I gotta get him.
He's like, I gotta get him. And so he goes and he's riding, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to get this cow out of the river. And he realizes he's got a rope. So he grabs that rope and he throws it up over his head, knocks his hat off, and he starts swinging it over his head, and he throws that rope out into the river, and he lassos Norman. He finally did it.
But this river is now getting faster.
Yes, this river is now getting faster. So he gets pulled off of his horse into the water. So he's still holding on to the rope. So, he makes his way up to Norman, and he grabs Norman, and he's holding on to him, trying to keep him above the water while they're both getting rushed down this river.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Ed and Phil
run after
they're
them.
running after him. They're running alongside the river, trying to find a way to get him. And there's this fallen tree that's sort of hanging over the side of the river. And so Phil climbs out on that, and he reaches down to grab Mitch, and he just barely grabs his hand. So they're holding on, but Phil loses his grip, and he starts to fall. And so Ed dives up onto the tree, and he grabs Phil's hand. So you got Ed, who's hanging on this tree, Phil, who's between Ed and Mitch. And, they're able to get everybody on shore.
And they get out there
and they save Norman.
They're kind of crying at first, and then it just turns into laughter, right? So when I was watching this the other night, was watching this scene with Nicole, and she's never seen the movie. Norman's struggling, and she just looks at me. That cow better not die.
I mean, this whole movie, they're treating this cow like it's a puppy.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, you get attached to this cow.
Right, so you got to remember this too.
You get attached to this cow.
When we started watching, when I started watching Walk the Line last week, with her, she came in at the scene where Johnny Cash's brother dies. Oh. And now she comes in on the scene where a baby cow might die.
Oh, but yeah, so they get him out of there. So yeah, Norman doesn't die in the river.
Norman lives in the river. Yes.
And so they get back, and then we have, it's the next morning.
Yes.
At the ranch where they're all supposed to, like, the final destination of this cattle drive.
Yeah.
And we have everybody made it back to the ranch.
Everybody made it back.
You know.
Except Jeff and TR.
Yeah, except Jeff and TR are off somewhere.
They're probably going to get fired.
Probably.
And potentially prosecuted.
So they're all like looking, they're waiting to see if Mitch, Ed, and Phil make it back.
Yeah, they're ready.
And then we see these 3 cowboys ride up over a hill, and this herd of cattle behind them.
Yep. And then we get their vantage point, and we see them looking out over this large ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And they see the house back there and everything. And like, let's bring him home. Right? And they start riding, and they're singing Rawhide.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Cookie is out on the deck, and he sees them. He's got his crutches.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the dinner bell, and he just gets it in there, and he starts ringing it.
And yeah, so they get all these cows into the corral, and then they come in, and Clay he's impressed.
He's impressed. He's like, "You did a good job there, cowboys."
And he's like, "Well, you know what? After everything that happened during these last 2 weeks, everything that happened on your trip, you brought these back in.
This is free.
Yeah, I'm not charging you for this for this trip for these 2 weeks. You all got a free cattle drive."
But then, like, Ben and Steve get that. They're like, "Well, no, like I feel like we'd love to,
we'd love to take them back.
Instead of doing it for free, can we just take them back?" Well,
and Clay's like,
why he's really doing it for free.
Clay's like, well, normally I'd say yes. Normally we just take them back and forth, but
I'm getting top dollar
for the meat. So these cows are all headed to the butcher. Like, all right, well, these cows are all headed for the slaughterhouse.
Like, hey, no, this is the life of these animals. Like, it's what it is. And of course, it's hard, especially for our 3 mains, like
who just
how much sweat that they went into doing this. That all these cows,
I mean, literal blood, sweat, and tears. And yeah. So once Mitch finds out about this, he goes over to the fence.
Yep, it's nighttime. He's looking at the fence, and Norman walks up.
And, sort of nuzzles up with him like a puppy. And, and he says his goodbyes to Norman. Even though, really, I mean, if all these cows are going to the slaughterhouse, right? Norman's just a calf. He's too small to get slaughtered. So there's really no danger of him,
right. And he hasn't been
turned into meat.
Like veal, so
yeah. So
you can't use him that way.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd potentially be good
Yeah. I mean, he
could make baby ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
He'd be a perfect one to help breed the next lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, they say their little goodbyes, and we don't get the goodbye of all the entire group saying goodbye to each other, right?
No. Instead, we're back in New York.
And we're back in New York.
At the airport.
I've already seen the airport. You saw LAX, Alan Ruck. This is JFK.
Mm-hmm.
This is the other coast.
Rabbit is good. Rabbit is wise.
But his kids are happy to see him. They have an Astro van.
Yes, they have an Astro.
You see Jake Gyllenhaal just spinning around on the captain's seats back there.
Which, when I saw this Astro, I was reminded of back in, like, around that time. First, second grade. My best friend, Chris. My best friend, Chris Fair. He had his mom drove an Aerostar. And he used to joke around, you know, our Aerostar can kick your Astro.
Anyway, Mitch is home, right? And he gets out, and the kids get out, and they're like, "Dad," right? Barb comes out. He's like, "Hey, Barb, look what I found."
Look what I found. He smiles.
He smiles.
And she's proud.
She's proud.
She's proud of him.
Right? We see Ed come out. He gets off. And then we see Phil come out.
Mm-hmm.
With Bonnie. And they get in a cab together.
First off, Phil is he comes out and they're like, "Hey, Phil, you need a ride?" He's like, "No, I'm going to take a cab."
That's right.
And he goes up and he opens the door to the cab, and then Bonnie comes walking up and gets in the cab. And then Phil kind of just looks over at him.
Somewhere.
Yeah, Phil kind of just looks over and just kind of shrugs and gets in the cab.
Maybe they have a tea party in the cab.
Maybe Ranjit's driving. Hopefully Ranjit's driving. I mean, he is a cab driver in New York. Well, he started out as a cab driver, then he became a limo driver.
That's
so
true. Yes.
Yeah.
At this time, he would still be the cab driver.
Yes, at this time, he would still be the cab driver. So maybe it was Ranjit. And, he would be completely fine if they wanted to reach emotional catharsis.
I guess technically at this time, he's actually a doctor that knows Julianne Moore out in Los Angeles.
Yes, true. Who is very, very good and thorough.
He had a tea party with Jeff Bridges. Can you please slide down your shorts, Mr. Lebowski? She hit me here.
You'll receive no bill. He's very good and thorough.
Ooh, boy. Okay. So they're off.
Because this is right around the time that movie took place.
It was. So before they left to come back home, he does tell them on the ranch that I know what this one thing is. When I was out there in the river, all I could think about was just one thing about the most important. Like, you have to figure out what it is for yourselves.
It's like, I know what that one thing is, and they're like, "What is it?" He's like, "That's what you got to figure out." I'm like, "Come on." Ed's about to hit him.
It's like no. Like, it's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody. When I was out in the river, there's just one thing that I could think of. The most important thing in my life.
And that's when it actually cuts to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
His wife and kids.
And so they're talking there. They're at the curbside pickup, right? I mean, this is 981. They could have theoretically actually met him at the gate.
Mm-hmm.
This is pre 9/11, right? But they're meeting them there at the curb. And then all of a sudden, you have someone's like, it's like Mitch
Robbins, Mitch Robbins.
Mitch Robbins. And they bring out this
giant
carrier.
pet carrier.
And the kid's like, oh, you got us a dog?
You got a dog?
She's like, we don't have space for a dog. We live in an apartment in
And Mitch is like, don't worry, it's not a dog. And he opens it up. And
I want you to meet Norman.
And this cow walks out. This calf. So what I want to know is, did he buy Norman? Or did they just let him take Norman? Or did he even tell them that he was taking Norman? I mean, did they figure that Norman is just a calf? He's not old enough to be slaughtered yet. So, you know what? Take him. Or
take the calf.
You know, I wouldn't put it past Mitch to, offer to buy Norman.
Yeah. Or the baby's like, you know what? You could you
tell the story about him, Curly, and Norman.
And Norman's mom.
And Norman's mom. And how Mitch was all up in there. Lost his watch.
Hey, she took my watch. I'm taking her cow.
Yes. Yes, Norman's mom took his watch all up in her cowgina. Lost it somewhere in there. So the least she could do is give him her kid.
Hey.
Her calf.
You know, if he remembered exactly where they left her, like he could have gone back that spot after a couple of years. Like, hey, here's my watch.
And picks up, takes a licking, and keeps on ticking. It's a Timex.
The kid is like, I got a Casio.
How about $2 and a Casio?
I'm gonna have to say good night. Anyway, so they load Norman into the Astro van, and Phil's like, Mitch's like, come on, Norman, we're going home. And Norman, like any good kid, is sticking his head out the window as they drive
just like
off.
a dog, just sticking his head out the window, just letting the wind hit his face as they drive off. And the camera pans out.
We get New York, and we get the credits. And that's City Slickers.
I really, really enjoyed rewatching this movie the other day.
I did too. I've enjoyed talking about it.
Me too.
It was fun to revisit this, and I wouldn't mind revisiting this again soon because it's a good movie.
Maybe we should revisit City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
That would be
some more Jack Palance.
I want to look at.
Get some more Jack Palance, because
you get a lot more Jack Palance in that
he's
movie.
like in the whole movie there, not just 12 minutes of it.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, and again, like he definitely earned this Oscar.
Mm-hmm. He did.
It's 12 minutes, and like we've talked about a lot of it, and I mean, he dies just over halfway through this movie.
Yeah.
And he doesn't show up until about a third of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
So,
but he takes up every minute that he's on the screen.
Yep. And you don't forget about him for the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then when you watch it again, you're just waiting for him to show up again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Jack Palance earned this Oscar.
Earned this for a performance that's not very comedic, but what's in a very broadly comedic movie.
Yeah.
So kind of a strange win because A, it's not a lot of time. And B, like the movie is basically a big comedy. But he earned the win.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. He did. And then he did one-arm push-ups when he received the award.
He did.
On the stage, right in the middle of the Academy Awards.
And one of the more famous Oscar acceptances, at least of the last, 40 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have a whole lot else to add because I think we've covered it really nicely.
Yeah, I think so too. And once again, the music was superb.
The music was great.
The music, it fit the feel of this movie perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, you had the overall theme, but then the music fits well. The other pieces fit well within their established parts of the movie and scenes and what it builds towards.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, that's City Slickers. Great movie. Definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it.
It is. Without
if you
doubt.
have seen it, it's definitely worth watching again. So, if you enjoy what you're hearing, go ahead and check us out on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. We are Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out, A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. We are also on X or Twitter. That is R&T Cinematic. And then you can also check us out on Letterboxd. Go and see some of the reviews we've written on various movies. Some we've done on the podcast, some we haven't done, some we will do, some we won't do. But that is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure, C-I-N-E Adventure. And, also, send us an email at robandtonyscinematicadventure@gmail.com. Again, the and is spelled out A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. But we want to hear from you. Let us know what you thought of City Slickers. Should we do City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold? Should we cover that movie? Do you have fond memories of watching this as a child like I do? Maybe with some homemade popcorn, watching it with your family. Or is this the first time you've seen it? What do you think? What do you think of the movie? Let us know. We want to hear from you. And yeah, go to our social media, give us a like and a follow, go to your favorite podcast app, wherever you're listening to us, hit that subscribe button, give us a good rating, a good review. That's how we move up in the rankings and the recommendations and the search, all that stuff, so that we can reach out and find more people that want to listen to us ramble on about these movies. We want to reach out to as many ears as possible.
We do.
And yeah, so that brings us to next time. We're going to continue with our Oscar series.
Yes.
Going through the acting categories, where next time we started with Best Actress, and then we went to Best Supporting Actor. So next up is Best Supporting Actress.
Yes.
So tell these fine people who we are going to be talking about and what movie we're going to be talking about next time, Tony.
So we have covered two very famous actors and a famous actor. We're going to go with someone that may not really be a household name. Some of you may know her, but we're actually going to stay within the same year of 1991. And we're going to talk about Mercedes Rule in her turn in Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King, when she won Best Supporting Actress. Also starring Jeff Daniels and Robin Williams.
Yes. Now, we have done a couple of Jeff Daniels movies.
We have. Not Jeff Daniels, Jeff Bridges.
Oh, sorry, Jeff Bridges, yes. We have done Jeff Bridges movie, yes.
We've done both of movies.
Yes,
but
we've
yes,
done
we've done a
movies
couple of
both
Jeff
of
Bridges
them.
movie.
Jeff
It's
Daniels
actually
and
been
Jeff
a
Bridges
while
movie. Yes,
since
Jeff
we've
Bridges.
done a Jeff Bridges movie.
It has been a while since
It's
we've done a
been
Jeff Bridges
almost
movie.
2 years since we've done a Jeff Bridges movie. We discuss his movie, one of his movies all the time.
Yes.
But it's been a while, and we have not done a Robin Williams movie.
We have not, surprisingly.
But this will be a fun one to do because, again, this is a truer supporting role. Again, she's not a lead in it. She definitely plays a supporting part of it. And she's very much a character actress. So she's someone that you may have seen in a lot of other things. And then she ended up getting recognition for this role. Yeah. And so, yeah, we will discuss The Fisher King.
Yes, we will. So join us next time for The Fisher King.